Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the McDonCast, the funnest podcast in town.
It's good to be back, Sam.
The only podcast around. We accidentally took a week off.
Well,
for no real reason.
We got a little busy. There's a lot of stuff going on. I don't think we saw
Ninja Turtles.
We saw Ninja Turtles. We're going to talk about that today. There's also not a whole lot of big news.
There's been a lot of little news.
So there's going to be a lot, but we're going to just kind of touch on stuff and keep on moving.
We're going to be rolling and strolling. So you guys better bear down and buckle up. And I'm not talking about Baldur's Gate. You don't want to do that kind of bearing down. Also, why did they put that in the trailer? That was super weird.
What are you talking about?
Oh, did you not see the trailer for Baldur's Gate?
No, why would I? I don't know what you're referencing.
In the trailer when they announced it, a dude has sex with a bear.
Like in The Shining?
No, like he has a friend who's a warlock who wild shapes into a bear. Then he has sex with a bear. But it's a man, but it's a bear.
It's a man bear.
Yes, it's a man bear, not a pig though. There's no pig. It's just a man.
But
bear.
Like a Gravity Falls man bear?
No, this is just a man who shapeshifted into a bear.
So it's bestiality. It's weird.
Well, technically the bear consented. So
Cenk Uyghur's on board.
Sure.
You don't remember that?
I don't know
Cenk
who that
from
is.
The Young Turks.
I don't watch The Young Turks.
He tried to run for office, and he was endorsed by Bernie Sanders until people started memeing on him for an old clip where he endorsed bestiality, and then Bernie Sanders had to rescind his endorsement.
The only thing I know about The Young Turks is Hassan Piker used to work there, and that's the extent of my knowledge.
He's Cenk's nephew, where he's from. Right, who worked there.
Makes sense since they're Turkish.
Have you seen everyone's been like revolting against the Twitch streamers?
Yeah, so everyone's getting like uppity over like React content. Everyone's decided that that's now the bane.
Everyone's targeting XQC.
XQC,
who I had never heard of.
He was the biggest.
Like a week
he was
ago.
the biggest streamer on Twitch until he jumped ship to Kick, and then he was passed by Kai Cenat, I think his last name is, who also had his own controversy last week because he held a gift card / PS5 giveaway in New York and didn't have any like security or anything. So like,
I saw
got
there was
mobbed
a big,
by a bunch of people.
Yeah, there was like a big kerfuffle,
and he got like stuff thrown at him and stuff. It was not good.
Yeah, honestly, React channels have always kind of been the bane of the internet. This is nothing new. I think we're experiencing just the new age of React channels.
So
like React channels used to be a lot bigger. Like 2011, 2012, 2013, they were popping enough left and right. That was like the Fine Bros peak. Remember them? The React boys. Like that was the peak. That was your Jinx. And we're kind of just seeing the resurgence of that. Just instead of 5-minute YouTube videos, they're 3-hour-long Twitch streams where a guy just watches TikTok and eats food.
Well, the argument is that it's not transformative.
And it isn't. Because half the time they just sit there and stare in silence.
The React channel, you could argue, is transformative because you're getting a bunch of different opinions.
And they're cutting together and there's some
You're getting a bunch of
going
opinions
on.
from across the board. You're kind of getting a societal consensus. That's like what that show is about. H3 obviously was probably the most famous React channel at the time.
They
were doing commentary. That they were adding to it.
Yeah. Doing skits and stuff.
People got on to XQC because he will literally just watch whole videos.
Yeah.
Or he'll start a video, leave, and come back later. Which Hassan
is very cool.
Also does. But he will then come back, rewind the whole thing, and then pause every 2 seconds to partially get around that and also annoy his audience as a joke. And then there's also the other one that was catching a lot of fire was
It's a Sniper Wolf?
Sniper Wolf, yeah.
Good.
Who is Jax Films has just dedicated his entire career to destroying.
Honestly,
which is funny unto itself.
He's what he's been doing is he's been streaming on Twitch and he's been
reacting to her videos.
He's been playing bingo because all of her videos are the exact same. He's just been playing bingo with his audience to like see who can get like the most, like the first 5 recurrent things over and over again. That's been kind of entertaining. I mean, it's also good for him because he's not been very relevant in the past 3 years.
And see, that's transformative because he's
doing something fun with
lame
it.
Content.
He's also been crediting the people who she's reacting to.
Yeah,
in the videos.
and that's another thing that XQC has failed to apparently, and I don't know a lot about XQC.
No,
But from what
again,
I've
I
seen,
hadn't heard of him until like a week ago.
he does credit them sometimes, but there are a lot of times where he has not credited them. And that's why he's also catching a lot more flack than other sort of lazy React channels, because they tend to credit him. Even if they're not doing a lot, they still tend to credit it, whereas he hasn't been doing it.
Again, the internet kind of just goes in a big circle.
Did you see
everything that's old is new again? That's just kind of how it works.
Did you see his debate in quotation marks with H3?
I saw clips of it because I don't know who has the time to sit through the H3 podcast.
I didn't watch it. I also saw clips of it.
I did see him just like where flubbering around and just making nonsensical points. Because you can't defend. Honestly, the defense is it's making me money, so I do it.
Well, the argument,
and that is not a morally justifiable defense, but that's their motivation.
The argument against it also wasn't very good, because Ethan's argument boiled down to react harder.
Yeah, no, Ethan is not.
Well, you should react more.
Ethan is not good at debate nor interviews, and so
he's awful. He's okay at interviews, because like sometimes he'll ask him like a really weird question that they obviously aren't prepared for, and you can get funny content out of that. But he's an awful debater.
No, because
he's so bad at it.
He just leans back in his chair and is just like, well, what about this though?
And he'll argue with people, and he'll even make good arguments, but he's just so bad at supporting his point. He's just bad at like the format of debate. He just sucks at it.
Because he requires someone to help him Google stuff during the debate.
Which is fine. I mean, that's pretty common practice in debates now, but like, yeah, he's not great. Like, and his producers and stuff will say things that are way better points than what, because he tends to get very, very petty with debates very fast.
He's a very generally petty guy.
He starts to insult them as a person very early on in a debate, and once you start doing that, you kind of the debate's essentially over.
That's why he always worked better as a commentary channel.
Yeah, because he just insults people.
Because that's what he does best. And so when you put him in that 4.5 hour podcast format,
when he's not debating,
it doesn't work as well.
When he is basically just reacting to stuff long form, he's not terrible. Because that's basically what the podcast is him aggregating news and reacting to it.
It's him scrolling Twitter.
Yeah. Whereas when he's debating people, he just doesn't really know how.
There's nowhere to go.
I think if you taught him how to debate, he'd probably be good at it, but he sucks at debate.
Maybe, yeah. I don't know.
Anyway,
let's do some quick news, though.
I haven't even given the brief rundown yet. We got quick news, which is a new thing we have because we didn't have a big enough fifth story. Mm-hmm. We have Sony doing some weird stuff. We got actors strike updates. Well, there's also some unionizing going on with the VFX people. We got a Loki season 2 trailer. We got Fantastic Four casting rumors and more.
All right, Sam. Let's start off with some random quick news. In the 2 weeks we were gone, Red Dead Redemption is being ported to Switch and PS4.
Yeah.
It will not have any of the online functionality of the base game, and it will cost $50.
Yeah. So this is just a scam. Yeah, this game's, what, like more than 20 years old, I'm pretty sure.
Let's do a Google. How old is Red Dead Revolver?
Is it 10 years? It's either 10 or 20 years old. I don't remember which. It might be 10 years old.
Old game.
I think
2010.
Came out, so it's 13 years old.
13 years old.
So it's 13 years old. It's a port, not a remaster.
Mm-hmm, just a port of an Xbox 360 game.
There's no improvements made. Yep. It's straight Xbox juice right into your veins. Xbox 360 juice right in there. I would be okay with this if it was like on Game Pass and free.
Or if it cost $20.
Or if it cost $20. That'd be a good deal.
Which I'm pretty sure it's cost in the past. Also, let me just Google this real quick. I believe Red Dead Redemption 2 was a PlayStation Hits game, and you could buy that for $20. Yeah, you can get Red Dead Redemption 2 for $20.
Red Dead Redemption 2 was on sale on Steam,
which is a game made for PS4
for $40.
You could get it for $20 on PS4.
Yeah,
which this is getting ported to. All this makes a lot of sense, and I get it.
Well, no, it makes a lot of sense. The sense is
money.
The Switch does not have any good Rockstar games on it.
True.
This is a very easy port.
Mm-hmm.
And on the Switch, people are generally willing to pay more for games than other platforms, since they never go on sale ever.
Nintendo games never go on sale.
Nintendo games do not ever go on sale except for like 2 on Black Friday. And that's
They
it.
used to do what they call Nintendo Selects
On the 3DS.
on the Wii and the Wii U and the 3DS, and those would drop to $20, but they don't do that anymore. So
On Black Friday, sometimes
you'll get a $40 deal.
You'll get 1-2 Switch for $30.
Sometimes you'll get a Switch
Actually,
Mario Kart bundle.
I think 1-2 Switch 2 is already on sale.
1-2 Switch.
I believe it is $30 now.
What was it called?
It was one. I think it was 1-2 Everybody Switch.
1-2
Or Everybody 1-2 Switch. something like that.
Yeah, Everybody 1-2
It had the word everybody in it.
Which on all accounts is very bad.
Well, it's WarioWare, but worse.
4 out of 10 on IGN.
Yeah, it released like the same week as WarioWare.
Well,
which is just the same game, but a little bit better.
That's only $30, and the first one I believe they were charging.
The first one is still
price.
$60.
Yeah,
the first one is currently selling for a higher price than the second one.
You can get it on GameStop for $23.74 if you remember.
Yeah. So aside from that one game, Nintendo games pretty much never go on sale.
It's still $30.
Yes, that's the only Nintendo game I'm aware of that is on sale.
Switch. Let's check out the 1-2 Switch. That one is $50.
Yeah, which it launched at. It launched $59.99.
You can get the original one, which is 6 years older for
I maybe worse. I don't know.
$20.
I haven't played the new one, but the old one is not.
Again,
great.
on all accounts, new one very bad. Very bad, and no one likes it.
Well, the old one was not great. The
nope,
old one
you
was
played it once,
demo.
and you went, "This is neat."
You played it once to show your friends how cool the Switch is, and then you never played it again.
How cool the Joy-Cons were.
Yeah, which they also did.
Introduced a bunch of features that
they
they never used,
which were super cool. Why didn't they use them?
HD Rumble. Sometimes
HD Rumble was so cool.
HD Rumble, you'll get Rumble stuff in games, but they never use.
But never the same level as it was in 1-2 Switch. Like 1-2 Switch, you could feel stuff like rolling around on the controller. That's never been used.
Obviously, they use the gyroscope and everything, but like
they used the HD Rumble a little bit in Mario Odyssey, and that is the only game I'm aware of that actually.
You don't get the thing where it scans shapes or whatever.
The IR camera.
Yeah.
That they only used for Labo. That's the only thing they used it for.
Oh, right, Nintendo Labo. It's going to be a fun time to look back on the Switch when the new Nintendo system comes out.
Labo, I think, is still pretty cool. I think, like, if you're a little kid and you, like, want to use your afternoon to make a little thing, that could be fun. The problem was it was $80, which is insane.
And it's literally just a box of scraps of cardboard.
Ooh.
Sam's getting a message.
Someone's calling me.
Someone always be calling you during the show.
Someone is always calling you. I'm not going to answer, so.
All right, so let's move on. Gal Gadot claims they are developing a Wonder Woman 3 in the DCU without the involvement of Patty Jenkins.
Oh, that sounds like a great plan.
This sounds like a very bad plan, and they should not do this. I repeat, do not do Wonder Woman 3 with Gal Gadot. It's a bad, bad plan. Obviously, Wonder Woman 2 was a horrible failure, both financially for the most part. We don't know for sure. It released in 2020, but was a failure financially and critically. That was a horribly panned film by critics and audiences. She has never been particularly great as Wonder Woman.
Gal Gadot?
Yeah.
Gal Gadot was good as Wonder Woman in the first one. She was great.
She's pretty good.
I mean, there wasn't anything particularly, like, super special.
She's been pretty bad in the recent stuff that she's had.
Yeah, but that's not
in.
her fault. Like, obviously, I don't think she's choosing to do those things. I think she could be good.
She does not have a lot of range.
Well, no, but Wonder Woman doesn't have a lot of range.
Remember her in Red Notice?
No one's rating Ryan Reynolds' acting career based off of Red Notice. Why would we do that with Gal Gadot?
What else?
That's stupid.
Remember her in Fast and Furious?
The one scene where she pops out of a submarine and stares off into the distance. That's
She's in some of the other ones.
I haven't seen the other ones.
I know. Yeah,
I think she's fine. I think she could be good. I think she's just been stuck with god awful scripts.
Wonder Woman 2 script is really bad.
God awful situations to like where your character should, by all means, not even be there.
Honestly, if they're getting rid of Cavill and they're getting rid of Affleck and they're getting
I don't know why they would keep her. But
Miller, you can't keep her around because it's just confusing. They have to get rid of.
Well, they're keeping Aquaman.
Maybe he might also be Lobo now. Nobody really knows.
Yeah.
I think they're not being clear on that one just because
it would be better as Lobo. I'm gonna be.
I think they're just not being clear on that one because Aquaman 2 hasn't come out yet, and
they want to. They want
reason for people to see Aquaman 2. But like, They're getting rid of most everything else. They've recast Superman. They're gonna recast Batman. Like, especially since they're going younger with those roles, it doesn't make sense to keep around Gal Gadot for longer.
Well, Wonder Woman's character doesn't necessarily have to be like a young actor.
I know, but Gal Gadot in real life ages.
Well, yeah, but how old is Gal Gadot now?
She's 39? 38, 39, I think.
How old is the
new Superman is
Superman
gonna
guy?
be. I think he's 29 right now, yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that's a
And
pretty
they're
big.
supposed to play the roles
gap.
for 10 years. David Cornsman he just turned 30. Like,
I mean, she could keep playing Wonder Woman for another 10 years.
I guess. My thing is just like the three big superheroes in DC are Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. You've recast Batman and Superman, and you've made it very clear that this is at least a major overhaul. Like, keeping around Wonder Woman, I think is going to be confusing to people.
I don't know. Wonder Woman never really got a chance to like really take off.
Wonder Woman, she got 2 solo movies.
The first movie was good, but that was her origin story. So we didn't get a lot of
2 solo movies. She
Wonder
was
Woman
in
going on.
BVS. She was in Justice League.
Okay, she was in BVS for like one scene.
Okay, she was in Justice League.
What did she do
For
in
most
Justice
of it.
League?
What does anyone do in
She
Justice
just
League?
walked around and told other people
That's
to
what
do
they
stuff.
all do in Justice
No,
League.
like, okay, The Flash and Superman and Cyborg do stuff in Justice League. Wonder Woman just like watches them
she
do
was
stuff.
in it a lot. In the Whedon cut, she's used as the exposition machine.
Yeah, in the Whedon cut, she does nothing.
In the Snyder cut,
She's a little more proactive.
She's a little more proactive. She's mostly like trying to get Cyborg to join the team. I mean, obviously she's had cameos and
Yeah, but those were
every
nothing.
DC movie made.
Those were just
since-
random.
I really want.
Those were random
I
nonsense.
really hope she's in Blue Beetle. I really want her to be in Blue Beetle.
Blue Beetle needs to not be
I
released.
really want them to do the same thing where she stands there and they just play the theme.
I hope Blue Beetle dies at the end and she brings him back to life.
That would be fun.
And she just does that in every
And then
DC
leaves.
movie now.
And then leave. Yeah. See, that's a good idea.
In
for
every
her.
DC movie, the main character dies and Wonder Woman just goes, boop, you're alive.
They do this death of Superman and Superman Legacy, and then she just comes in and saves.
Yeah,
it.
she just comes in and goes, boop, you're alive.
They do with Batman.
Why didn't she do that to Superman? She can do that.
I think it only. Like it's. What do you mean?
You know how she brought Shazam back to life?
Yeah,
Why didn't she do that when Superman
I
died?
think it's because of Greek god powers, and
Yeah.
Superman isn't a Greek god, so I don't think it works that way.
But neither is Shazam.
But he has the powers of all the Greek gods.
Yeah, but he's not a god, though.
But he's got all the powers of the Greek gods, though.
No, but you need god powers to bring people back to life. But you
I
could
think
bring
she also
anyone
needed
back.
to hold the magic stick, and she didn't have that.
So she can't call Shazam and be like, "Yo."
She doesn't have his phone number. He don't got no phone. He's living at the magic interdimensional rock.
You think he wouldn't give Wonder Woman his phone number?
No, he wouldn't.
He absolutely would. He was thirsting for
He
the
doesn't
entire
have
movie.
a phone.
He's like a teenager. He has a
Oh,
phone.
you mean Shazam? I thought you meant the wizard Shazam.
No, because he doesn't have the stick anymore.
But at the time when Superman died, he had the stick.
Oh yeah, I get. Well, did he? When did
Yes.
Shazam become Shazam? Was that before?
After Justice League.
Was it after Justice League?
Mm-hmm.
Timelines are dumb.
Yep.
All
right, hang on. I gotta go to the bathroom real quick.
Oh, okay. We're pausing for bathroom. Alrighty, we're back.
Yeah, I was just gonna say about Patty Jenkins not being involved though. Do think that's a reasonable step.
Well, after what happened with the last one, that's like an
Because-
obvious step.
Wonder Woman 84 was so bad and so poorly written.
And it was so clearly
Yeah.
very much her.
She did not write the first one, and then she had the screenwriter fired for the second one so she could do it herself.
And the
And
script
look
was.
how that turned out.
I think out of all the superhero movies we've seen in theaters, I think that one might be the worst
I didn't
script
see
of
that
all
one
of
in the
them.
theater.
Did we not see it in theaters?
That one
yeah, we
went
did.
straight to HBO Max.
Oh yeah, I guess we did. Okay, well, out of all the superhero movies I've seen, I think ever,
I've seen Green Lantern.
yeah, but I think the Green Lantern script is better than the Wonder Woman script.
Hot
I'm
take?
not even gonna lie.
Hot take?
Yeah, that's a hot take, but I think that's like it's way easier to understand what's going on in Green Lantern.
It's got a lot of just really dumb nonsense things in it that just are unexplainable from like a story and like a why did you put this
Like,
in the movie at all?
Green Lantern is a very bad movie and a very dumb movie.
Mm-hmm.
But I can easily explain to people what the movie is about. A guy
Yeah.
gets a magic ring that lets him create whatever he can
turns
imagine,
into space cop.
and he fights a yellow blob.
He's a space cop. And Wonder Woman, there's like, okay, so it's the 80s, and there's a guy, and he's got a magic wishing rock, and he uses the wishing rock to turn into the wishing rock. And the more he gets people to wish on him as a living wishing rock, the eviler, more powerful he gets. And then he hijacks the
satellite
U.S. presidential broadcast system and gets everyone to wish for something so he gets more powerful.
Oh, she's pulling all the cables.
Wrapped around her foot.
Cena, you can't do that. And don't forget, Cheetah's also there.
He turns Kristen Wiig into a cheetah, and Wonder Woman saves the day by using the broadcast system to get everyone to unwish their wishes.
Which definitely would not happen in the real world.
Literally every single person. Yet somehow nobody is aware of who Wonder Woman is by the time Man of Steel rolls around, even though she's publicly fighting crime in a mall.
And like
she
is
steals
like
a big golden bird suit for
and
no
literally
reason.
broadcasted to everyone on
Everyone
Earth.
on
Every
Earth.
single human
Every
being on
single
Earth
human being.
knows who she is, but for some reason no one knows who
No
she
one
is like
remembers
later
who
on
it
in the
is.
future.
Yeah, no, really dumb script, really bad movie, that one.
And that's why I think Green Lantern is better than Wonder Woman
I
19.
think they should bring in someone new for the third one, especially if they're going to keep Gal Gadot. However, if it's going to be in this new universe, I think going in a slightly different direction would be smart. Or even not even going in a different direction, just going back to the thing that
Going back to
works.
the original direction.
Yeah, go back to the Wonder Woman 1 formula. And you could even do another prequel.
Sure.
You could even do, Wonder Woman in Vietnam.
Just have her be in every war.
Yeah, Wonder Woman in World War II. They did World War One. Why not World War II?
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
And maybe if you're going to bring Steve Trevor back, just bring him back from the dead. Because
No.
that's better than him possessing the
Just
mind of an
leave him
unknowing
dead.
man.
Actually, just leave him dead,
Remember
actually.
when she has sex with that guy, even though he's
Who-
not?
it is confirmed that he does not look like that. Wonder Woman just sees him as that because, like, it's got her ex-boyfriend's soul in it.
But that guy is not in control of his own body. It's someone else,
She basically uses her ex-boyfriend's soul to mind control a dude,
and then has sex with him unconsensually.
which is weird.
Yep, she's the hero. Anyway, moving on. Christopher Landon is going to direct Scream 7.
Yeah, I don't care about
Scream
that.
5 and 6 were helmed by the trio of filmmakers named Radio Silence. I don't remember their names because they're very long, but they are moving to Universal. Scream is, of course, done by Paramount. They're moving to Universal to go do a monster movie, and they took Melissa Barrera, who plays the main character in the modern Scream movies, with them. Although, presumably, she's going to come back
Jenna
for this.
Ortega's sister?
Also, yes. Jenna Ortega's older sister. So Christopher Landon's going to do the next one. We don't know who's writing it because they can't tell us that because of the strike. Although Christopher Landon writes all of his other movies, so I'm assuming he's going to at least co-write this one. If you don't know who Christopher Landon is, his most popular movie was Happy Death Day. You remember that?
Where she dies over and over
Yeah, you
again?
remember that from a couple years ago?
Yeah.
And he, of course, did the sequel to that. He also did the movie Freaky with Vince Vaughn,
I don't know what that
which
is.
I've seen. That one's okay. It's pretty fun. It's got Catherine Newton.
Is
in
that
it.
the Freaky Friday one?
That's the Freaky Friday one, yeah.
Ah.
That's got Catherine Newton from
Aren't there
Ant-Man
like
and the
10 different
Wasp
versions
3.
of that movie?
Freaky Friday? I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, they've done that a million. But they've also done a million Groundhog Days, too. That's what Happy Death Day is.
Yeah, but they're not all called Groundhog Day. Like, all of the Freaky Friday movies are
Well, they wanted
are
to call
called
it.
Freaky
They wanted
Friday.
to call it Freaky Friday the 13th, but they couldn't because of copyright. So they called it just Freaky. His most recent movie was We Bought a Ghost,
Not heard of that at all.
which is a movie on Netflix that apparently is really bad. So hopefully he can turn it around.
Well, that's par for the course for Netflix movies.
I do. I think he's a good fit for this, though. He's a horror. He likes the horror comedies. He's made some solid ones in the past. I think this is a pretty solid choice if they can't get the other guys back. I'm not a big fan of the Scream franchise just becoming a franchise that gets dealt from a different guy to different guy every movie because it was Wes Craven was in control of those first four, and so was Kevin Williamson to a larger extent. But
the lore is so
it's just gonna keep
convoluted at this point. It's hard to tell even what the movie is about anymore. Like it's a slasher
the same thing
parody.
every time.
Yeah, no, it happens the same way every time. But like the characters will talk about all the other stuff that's happened.
Siri heard me.
Oh, Siri's chiming in.
Do not do emergency call. Uh-oh.
No, but like, it's gotten like a little bit ridiculous. Like,
Yeah,
it's hard to keep track of what's happening.
I liked the 6th one more than the 5th one.
I feel like the 6th one did a good job of tying it all together.
Until the third act got
the
really
third act was,
over
I think, the dumbest
and
thing.
And that movie's biggest problem was just their outright refusal to kill any of the even remotely main characters.
No, well, in the only
none of them die. Like,
the only character they do kill dies in the dumbest way ever.
It's a slasher where for a solid 35 minutes of the movie, there are not a single like named character dies.
The only
it just becomes repetitive where they get attacked by someone, they get stabbed a bunch, sent to the hospital, and then they're fine.
The only character that is actually killed via knife in the entire movie is the teacher at the beginning, like in the opening act, or the opening scene.
Yeah, Samara Weaving.
Because the other character that dies, I won't. Everyone else just keeps... who dies, falls off a ladder and dies. Yes,
and well, all the main characters just keep getting stabbed like 85 times.
They're immune to knives.
I mean, what was his name? Chad.
Yeah, no, his name was Chad.
Giga Chad. He gets stabbed like 80, literally like...
He gets stabbed, I think, 13 times in the stomach.
Yeah, like, and he's fine.
Yeah, he's just okay.
He gets just wheeled off, and he's just left in the corner bleeding out for like a good solid half hour. And then at the end,
Jenna Ortega's character is stabbed in the back and in the stomach, I'm pretty sure. And then like a few minutes later,
is just walking around,
sitting with her sister and having like a casual conversation. Yeah. Like she isn't bleeding out.
What's her name? Kirby gets stabbed. Courtney Cox's character gets stabbed,
and even the main villain,
what's her face,
gets stabbed in the face, and then doesn't die, and then is later smashed over the head with a brick.
That's fine, but like
but it's the fact that no characters were killed via knife.
Yeah,
the entire movie.
Scream 6 third act has problems, although I do like the first 2/3. Although we,
you know how
we both called who Ghostface was instantly.
Oh yeah, no, that was extremely obvious. But you know how all in their universe, like it's like the stab
movies.
Yeah. So what is this one going to be called? Because no one who gets stabbed actually died.
Stab.
Hit in face with brick.
Laddered.
Laddered.
Anyway, yeah, we'll Nev Campbell come back for this one. Who knows?
Maybe.
Honestly.
Cares?
It's time. It's either time to stop or it's time to do something.
Oh, it
different.
was time to stop 5 movies ago.
It's time to try something.
It was time to stop after Scream 1.
It's time to like pull like a out of left field thing. Or like bringing one of the old characters back, but they're the villain now. Like they got to do something outlandish.
No,
they got to mix it up.
Just make it different. Just do a different thing.
Ghostface is as a zombie now. Do something crazy.
Ghostface is actually just for real a ghost.
Yeah, why not?
And he's just a face. He's just a face ghost. And instead of being called, yeah, I know. Instead of being called Ghostface, he's Face Ghost, and he's just a face. He doesn't even kill anyone because he can't.
He's that CG, Skeet Ulrich, where she sees her ghost evil dad.
Yeah, except for it's just his face.
No, it's just him. It's literally his ghost.
Yeah, he's the villain.
He's the villain. He's just a ghost. Like, do something. I know that's dumb, and I'm being 100% serious. Do something like that. Like, mix it up.
Just make it into Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, honestly, that's what it is already.
Make it into real Scooby-Doo.
But at least in Scooby-Doo, it's like a new monster every time. In this one, it's always just a person with a knife.
Maybe, you know how Scooby-Doo is always fake except for that one time where there were actually zombies for real?
Yes.
Just do that.
Whenever they need to do a movie, it's always, oh my gosh, it's real this time.
Actually, this one's real. Cena, you cannot have my french fries. She is just eyeballing my french fries directly. She is honed in on those fries.
Anyway. We'll see what happens with that. It's going to, of course, be a while because of the strike, but we'll see what happens. Lionsgate has bought E1 for $500 million.
What is E1?
E1 is a production company. It was Hasbro's film division. That's where all the Transformers stuff came out of was E1.
Did they do the Barbie movie also?
No, that's Mattel. E1 was
right.
Hasbro.
Hasbro was different.
So I guess they're now owned by Lionsgate. So I don't know what they're going to do now.
Don't know what that means.
Because if all they did was Hasbro stuff, what do you do without the Hasbro?
They can they can work on the Naruto movie.
What are they? Films.
They can work on the Naruto movie that Lionsgate's been working on for 16 years. They'll never ever get made.
Sam, you know that's never going to happen.
Oh, and if it ever does, it'll be awful.
Oh, it looks like they do a bunch of random TV shows.
Yeah, that sounds right.
They did The Walking Dead. I guess they were involved in that.
Lionsgate always makes like crappy adaptation movies.
Let's see. What have they done recently? E1. They did Clifford.
There was a Clifford movie? Oh, there was a Clifford movie.
They're involved in Transformers, Dungeons and Dragons.
Dungeons and Dragons was good.
Again, but that's Hasbro stuff. They did I guess no, it's I don't know, they're kind of just like co-producing random stuff.
Yeah.
We'll see why. I don't know why Lionsgate bought them, but I don't know. Warner Brothers Discovery lost 1.8 million subscribers across Discovery Plus and Max in Q2 of 2023. So that Q2 was when Max launched. So the Max launch lost subscribers. Did not gain any
I'm so hyped about that. I actually love that.
Big fan of that, honestly.
I love them getting punished for their dumb decisions.
Yep.
I love it when they do something dumb
and
it has immediate and direct consequences.
No, I loved when they did that, when they were like, it's Max now, and I would have to explain to people in real life why that's happening or what that even means.
Everyone collectively as a society was like, no.
And no, everyone still calls it HBO Max.
Yeah, because why would you not? That's stupid.
It's like Twitter. Twitter is just Twitter. It's
Twitter
never
is
gonna
still
not
Twitter.
be Twitter. It's just dumb. Dumb. Crayola is set to launch Crayola Studios, a new division set to create movies and TV shows for children.
Yeah, that
Crayola,
is not,
of course,
that's
being
not
the
real.
crayon company.
That's just straight up not real.
You don't want the crayon movie? Crayola
No, I'm just telling you that's like never gonna happen. That's not real.
Where's that
That's
red
like
crayon
not a real
from?
project.
Where's he from? What's his backstory? What about the glue crayon?
Doesn't
What's
matter.
he from?
Because it's not real.
This I'll save that one for the end. A Monopoly movie is in the works.
Okay.
Presumably that would just be
So is it
the
Wolf
movie
of Wall
Wall
Street,
Street?
for children? Like that's the movie?
for children. Can't wait to see Brian Cox as the Monopoly man.
It'll just be Wolf of Wall Street, but with Sam Bankman-Fried instead of what's his face, the one who did Wolf of Wall Street.
Yes, what's his name?
Gerald.
Not Gerald. I know the Wolf of Wall Street. I don't remember his name.
His name. You know the name. You know. Oh,
Jordan Belfort. Yep.
Why did we both remember his name at the same time?
Because great minds forget things alike.
And remember them at the same time.
Warner Brothers approached Greta Gerwig about returning for a Barbie 2 months before
don't say.
The film released. However, she said she wanted to delay talks until the movie actually came out.
Fair enough.
Of course, since then, no discussions have been had because of the writer's strike. And Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling have no deals in place to return for a sequel if one happens. Margot Robbie, of course, produced.
Well, she wouldn't.
Barbie.
I would imagine she wouldn't be in the movie if they made a sequel.
I think she would.
I think it would be about a different Barbie.
They could probably be about the same Barbie, so she could.
Unless she turns back into a Barbie.
Well, you would do the thing where like Barbie, there's a problem in the real world. There's a problem in the Barbie
she
world.
lives in the real world.
I know.
Why would she care if there's a problem,
in the
Barbie
Barbie
world?
world? You need to come back
She
to the
doesn't
Barbie
live there
world
anymore.
to save us.
Why?
We
Why
need
would they
your
do that?
help.
That's dumb. Just make a different Barbie. Just have it be a different Barbie.
But then it wouldn't be Margot Robbie.
Yeah. Have it be
Margot
a different
Robbie's
Barbie.
Famous.
There are other famous people. Other famous people exist.
No, she produced the first Barbie. She was heavily
You
involved.
could
in
have a Zendaya Barbie.
That's
insta money. Instant big
You're
money.
onto something here. And Timothy Chalamet can.
Tom
Holland can.
They're competing against each other.
Do the same thing again.
Yes, but
Now they're both
it's
skinny
Zendaya.
white boys.
Now they're both the opposite.
It'll be
of
like
Ken.
that tennis movie she's in, but now it's Barbie now.
But it's just Barbie.
No, Margot Robbie was heavily involved in Barbie. She produced it. She was the one who brought Greta Gerwig onto the project. So I think even if they do a sequel and she doesn't act in it, I think she'd probably still produce, mostly because it would make a lot of money.
She'd definitely have a cameo at least.
Yeah, she'd be in it somehow. But Barbie 2 is going to happen whether or not any of these people are involved.
Oh, yeah, no, it will. For sure.
It doesn't matter. Like, it made $1 billion.
If it makes $1 billion, you're getting $1 million.
Yeah, they're gonna make at least 2 more. And they're gonna shoot them back to back. Barbie 2 is happening. It's not gonna not happen.
Barbie will become a franchise a la Fast and Furious. They will just keep making
I don't know about that.
No, they will just keep making them.
I do think they'll just keep making them. Although, again, but the thing about Fast and Furious is that it's like the same group of people every time. I think Barbie, there's a very
No,
little
it
chance.
isn't.
Yeah, it is. It's Vin
Are you
Diesel
kidding me?
every
No.
movie, except for the first
No,
3.
it's just straight up not. They just keep adding people because they can't get people back.
What are you doing?
She's sniffing my shoe.
In the cabinet.
Get out of the cabinet.
The cabinet.
Why are you in a cabinet? That's not a place for dog to be.
Vin Diesel came back for 4 through 10.
Yeah, but there are 3 movies that are just not about him.
There's 2 movies that are not about him. But again, even you had even Paul Walker was in. Well, technically he's in Tokyo Drift, so really he's only not in one of them.
Well, technically he's not in half of them because he's dead. Because he's dead and not in.
Because he wasn't actually on set. He was green screened in because no one wants to work with him.
Or he just wasn't alive.
I'm talking about Vin Diesel.
Oh no, you said Paul Walker.
Paul Walker is in the second one, and Vin Diesel isn't. And then
Yeah.
Vin Diesel's in the third one, and Paul Walker's not.
And then Paul Walker was not in.
And Paul Walker's not been in 8, 9, and 10, but he'll be in the next one with the power of computers. Anyway, speaking of computers, a group of 50 on-set VFX workers have voted to unionize at Marvel Studios.
Also in the news, 50 VFX artists were fired recently, and if you need to hire one, there are some new ones on the table.
Yeah, this is
not enough people.
They need to unionize, but 50 is not enough. I mean, this is just people at Marvel Studios. We'll see if this encourges any of the other.
Also,
VFX
the union
unionize.
that they joined with is like a theater union.
Yeah, they joined,
which is weird.
The IATSE, which is the
IATSE, I think.
Yes, some International Association of Theatrical Stage Employees.
Yeah, which they are not.
That is the union for pretty much anyone who isn't a writer, actor, or director.
Yeah.
If you're a cam op, if you're a makeup person, you're a best boy, you're pretty much in that union. Which there's no union for animation either. So if they were going to be in a union that isn't that one, I think they would have to form a union with the other animation people. But that is probably not also going to happen.
Should have happened, but because of
it should happen, but it
really
doesn't
possible.
exist.
Yeah.
So I don't know if, and all the VFX companies are all independent companies technically. I mean, 50.
Well, but that's fine. They can unionize across companies. That's not the problem.
Yeah, I know, but it's just a lot of people to get together, and of
course,
the
problem would be coordination.
You know, the studios, if they have one group of people that are voting to unionize,
they'll just fire
and one
them all.
who isn't, they'll just hire the one who isn't. Which is the whole problem with unionization in general.
Yeah, it only works if literally everyone's on board, which is why the actors union works,
which is
none
why
of the other
SAG,
ones do.
Which is what SAG even used to be 2 unions, and then they merged. And
yeah,
now it's
SAG-AFTRA.
SAG-AFTRA was 2 unions. WGA has always been 1 union, but they're also different divisions, and there's other writers unions that aren't the WGA. Yeah. Anyway, that's not the point. But a good step. Hopefully they don't get fired.
But they almost
see if
for
this
sure
goes
will.
anywhere. But
like 9 million probably percent.
This is comic news, not movie or TV or games. A follow-up to the notorious story Spider-Man Reign is coming, according to Marvel Comics.
Oh my gosh!
This is a publicity stunt. They're doing this for the meme. It's going to get a lot of going to trend on Twitter for about 2 hours.
Do you think they'll full meme it? Do you think they'll just make it an actual joke?
No, but they're going to do as much outlandish stuff as possible to try to get people to tweet about it.
Do you think the whole city will die of spider cum? Like it gets in the water supply?
I don't think that'll be it, but I think they'll be doing
because he was busting a nut in the toilet, and so now it contaminated the water, and the whole city dies of Spider-Man.
I don't think that'll be the focus.
Well, the last one that was the focus.
It just kind of happened. It wasn't.
That's still insane.
Nobody really knows what happened in Spider-Man Reign because that was the thing that happened in Spider-Man Reign.
Yeah, well, maybe don't do that. Maybe that's a terrible idea for a story. Maybe don't start your story that way.
Let's see. The original writer of the story is set to return.
That's not good news. That's bad news.
Yeah, no, they're going to do... It's going to be about Spider-Man Reign. So apparently it's a lot about, came out, and of course, a couple of years after 9/11. So it addresses a lot of, cultural themes of the time. My guess is this one's going to be doing the same thing for our time. It's going to be about...
Donald Trump's the president.
Donald Trump is the president.
Spider-Man goes to the January 6th insurrection.
No, there's going to be an insurrection thing. You think they're not going to be an insurrection thing? You know that's going to happen, right?
No, but do you think Spider-Man will go?
No, he's not going to go to January 6th, but he's going to go to an insurrection attempt.
But how insane would it be if he's there? If he's, trying to help them?
If he supports the insurrection. Yeah. So in this story, he's pro Donald Trump.
Think about it. So Norman Osborn is the president, right?
Yep, of course.
They riot to get him out of the president.
No, they're rioting to keep him in power.
No, in this...
The whole thing will be that Spider-Man will uncover this...
But we have to make Spider-Man a good guy.
Spider-Man will uncover this grand conspiracy theory that shows how Norman Osborn is evil, but even though he's very obviously evil, the people will still support him, and then they'll have a big riot to keep him from being impeached, and Spider-Man will have to be there and stop the people from rioting.
No. Because I want Spider-Man to be there. I want him to be part of it.
You just want him to be
here's what has to happen.
The raccoon
hat
guy.
Norman Osborn is the president, and then Spider-Man leads a revolt against him. And that's why they invade.
So this story is pro January 6th.
No, in this one, Spider-Man is part of the riot.
But he's the good guy.
Yeah, but think about the Twitter headline.
Spider-Man does January 6th.
Spider-Man at January 6th rally.
The whole thing is going to be about Trump, which I can't wait. Love that.
That's so cool.
Can't wait for him to run for president again.
Awesome.
Oh my god.
Society's going to be so fun.
I can't wait for 12 straight years of Donald. I love 12 straight years of Donald Trump.
I love that
being the entire news cycle. Fun in America, everybody. Fun worldwide. Fun worldwide for everyone.
On the bright side, if he does run for a second term, he can only serve 2 of those years.
Why?
The maximum time you can be president is 10 years.
Yeah, but he would be president for 8.
Not if he runs the third time.
He wouldn't run a third time.
Why not?
Because he can't run a third time.
He can, but he can only serve 2 of the years, and then it would go to his vice president.
That's not how it works.
That is exactly how it works. Look it up.
You can't run for president 3 times.
Yes, you can. You can only.
Why didn't Obama do it?
You can serve a maximum of 10 years. It's just no one does.
Yeah, under very specific circumstances, but you can't run for president 3 separate times.
Yeah, you can.
You can run 3 times, but you can't win 3 times.
Well, if you win the
Otherwise,
third time,
every president would have done that since FDR.
If you win the third time, you just have to not. You just
that is not true.
Step down after 2 years.
That is not true. What you just said. Anyway, Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Speaking of unwarranted threequels, Sonic the Hedgehog 3 will begin filming in September without actors until the strike ends. So I'm assuming they're just gonna shoot all the still images that they would then insert the characters into, all the little cartoon animals, and then later on they'll shoot all the actor stuff.
Half the movie's CGI anyway, so that's fine.
There's still no news on whether Jim Carrey's gonna do that one.
Well, they did tease Shadow at the end, so they don't have to do Jim Carrey.
I think they will do...
They could do either or.
If he does come back, they'll do a Shadow Robotnik team up. If not, they'll just do Shadow. Which I guess that's okay. I mean...
They already set up
the
for
big
it, so
draw
it's okay.
of those 2 movies is it's Jim Carrey. So I don't know how
he's the best part of the movies, for sure. But little kids will still go see it because I know Sonic.
Yeah, Sonic. I mean, they're on the 3rd one. I think there is a fan base who will show up regardless.
Honestly,
of
they're not even bad. Like, the Sonic movies are pretty fun.
No, they're pretty good. They're pretty fun. Honestly, recommend those. I know they're doing the Knuckles TV show as well.
I would say as video game adaptations go, that's probably
one of the better
best.
ones.
Yeah.
Disney plans to reduce the volume and cost of theatrical releases, just generally in order to cost save.
Well, that's bad.
I mean, financially, it makes sense.
Well, okay, releasing the volume is good. Reducing the cost is bad.
Well,
because if you reduce the quality and the cost, you do nothing.
They're reducing just the amount. They're going to release less movies a year.
Well, you said they're reducing the quality and the cost.
I meant volume and cost.
That's the same thing.
Volume as in quantity.
Yes. So if you reduce the volume, you make less projects.
Yes.
If you reduce the cost, the projects you are still making, you make worse. That's what that means.
I think the idea is that they're not going to reshoot everything and everything's not going to cost $300 million.
Yes.
So as we've seen, a movie that costs $300 million is usually not worth that price tag.
Well, usually, but sometimes it is.
So it's Avatar.
Avatar, Endgame, those 2 movies, Infinity War, those 3 movies.
Yeah, no.
Pirates of the Caribbean.
I think their plan is to take a little bit more time where they don't have to spend $300 million rushing out a movie that's been reshot 4 times as fast as possible.
Yeah.
And they should release less movies a year. I think we've learned
that's been a very obvious
over the pandemic that if your movie is going to be a mega hit, it needs space to...
It needs to breathe.
It needs... I mean, that's... we're going to get to the summer chart later, but we saw that with Mission Impossible. It was a good movie. Just
no time to breathe.
It just had all the air sucked out of the room, and it didn't have any time to build a fan base. And
they picked a terrible release window for that movie.
Yeah,
that was
true.
just
Paramount this
dumb.
whole year has just been really bad at
just
dating
L
news.
After L.
Remember Dungeons and Dragons came out at like the week before Mario.
Good idea.
And the week after John Wick and Creed and like everything else.
Yeah, very, very bad timing.
Yeah, they're just really bad at dating stuff. I mean,
and the Ninja Turtles also came out.
If Mission Impossible had come out this week, it would have cleaned up for like 4 straight weeks. I'm gonna let the dog out.
Although I think Ninja Turtles had a pretty good release window. Because there's not really anything going on this week.
But like, again, Mission Impossible, Dungeons and Dragons, even Scream to a certain extent.
Yeah.
All bad dates. And That's all the quick news, Sam.
Oh, we got Pokemon. We got Pokemon news.
Oh, what happened with Pokemon?
So Pokemon Presents happened.
Woo.
We got some updates on the games. We saw more of the DLC revealed. It looks just as bad as the base game does in terms of graphics.
Yay.
But we know now more of the Pokemon that'll be returning to the game since they started doing that thing where not all of them are in the games anymore.
Woo,
we're gonna get more of them back, so that's good. We like that. That's fun. They revealed some of the forms of the legendary Pokemon that they're adding for the DLC. So if you care about that, you can look it up. What's weird that they added, so there's 2 new Paradox forms that we see revealed in the trailer. There's Cabellion, which is called Iron Crown. He's like a robot version. So that's a thing.
Okay.
And then they added a Raikou.
Oh, I did see that.
Who is a giraffe now.
You love that.
So yeah. So he's supposed to be, I think, a Diplodocus, like the dinosaur, because the Walking Wake was like a Velociraptor.
But he looks very stupid.
But he looks super dumb and super lame.
I love it.
And
looks
like I said,
like a 4th grader drew him.
Like I said earlier, when they announced Walking Wake, there are 5
The Paradox Pokemon creep me out.
There are 5 Pokemon in the entire franchise that you cannot make Paradox forms of.
What?
Because they didn't exist in the past.
Yes.
Those are Mewtwo, Porygon, and the 3 legendary beasts. They did not exist in the past at all.
Oh yeah, because then the legendary beasts like switch out every couple. Yeah.
No, so they were 3 just regular Pokemon that died when the Gold Tower burned down. That Ho-Oh then resurrected as the legendary beasts. Yeah. So they actually straight up just cannot exist in the past because they didn't exist in the past at all. So that
maybe this is their great grandpa.
But that doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't matter.
So that's very, very dumb. That doesn't make any sense. But okay.
Anyway, so Sam, let's get back to our favorite studio, Sony. Our boys over. Oh wait, no, we skipped one news item. Sam, if you remember back to the very first episode.
Oh
of the McDonCast.
We had a full
story.
Circle. So we've had 3 3 if you count the Flash movie sucking.
What?
Because the Flash movie was also like we talked about that on the first episode.
So the Flash movie,
Powerpuff Girls,
and
this
on
thing.
this one. So Leslie David Baker,
otherwise
known as Stanley from The Office. He's going to return all donations made to his Kickstarter campaign
for the spin-off show Stanley.
Unofficial Office spin-off Uncle Stan. He had raised over $110,000. He's going to return every single cent because he's just not going to make it.
He did the right thing.
Yes.
This is a W. Big W for Leslie.
Big W. Well, I mean, not a big W that he just took a bunch of people's money and then sat on it for 4 years, but at least he's getting it back.
I've never heard of a Kickstarter refunding the money back after their project flops.
Most
always
Kickstarters are just scams, and they just take your money and run because they don't actually have to use it for the thing they said they'd use it on.
Yeah.
But
no, this is a big W for Leslie.
The idea was
round of applause for Leslie.
The idea was always really stupid. But at least he's giving you your money back.
No, he did the right thing. This is
at least the people dumb enough to donate will get a refund.
Yeah.
Although this is kind of sad
because the story is over.
The story's over, and honestly, I wanted to see Uncle Stan.
I wanted to see at least a pilot episode.
What happened to Stanley when he ran that motorcycle flower shop?
Maybe one day.
Maybe they'll leak the script online.
Maybe whenever this show gets big, we can interview him and ask him what happened.
Oh, he wouldn't tell us.
He might tell us.
No, he would play coy. He'd be like,
no, I'm pro Leslie. I think he did the right thing.
We should.
We do a puff piece.
We should confront him at a convention where we stick a microphone in his face.
No, that's the worst thing. That's the worst thing.
We had a chance. He was at a.
Well, we had a chance to see him, but we didn't have a chance.
We could have run up with a microphone and gotten kicked out by security.
Yeah, but then we would have been kicked out by security.
Then we wouldn't have been able to get.
Then we would not have been able
by Chevy Chase.
Yeah, we got insulted by Chevy Chase. That was cool. Okay, not insulted. He just told us to move out of the way.
He told us to move out of his way.
Which was pretty funny.
Because he was being wheeled around.
He was being wheeled around on a wheelchair.
See, I still don't know. Is he
Is he okay?
Is he okay? I think he might have literally just been being wheeled around.
Yeah, okay, see, we don't know if it was like a medical thing or if he's just Chevy Chase and demanded to be wheeled around. Because it could honestly be either one.
Because he had to be, I know he had to jump back and forth between like the photo area and like his autograph
booth, yeah.
I don't know. I could find it later. Anyway.
But yeah.
Moving
That's the
on.
end of Stanley.
Let's get to Sony delays. Okay. So most of these are because of the strike. Some of these are just dates for movies that we knew were coming but didn't have a release date. And some of these are being pushed back because they're not even close to be ready to be released.
Which is not surprising at all.
Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse has been moved off its March date. It's now releasing TBD.
We knew this.
This is not related to the strike. This is going to be delayed no matter what.
So we called this, obviously, because
everyone called this.
A blind monkey that has been lobotomized could have called this. It is the most blatantly obvious thing.
I mean, we knew this was going to happen.
The fact that they even pretended that it could come out next year is insulting to the intelligence of the 5-year-old babies who watched the movie.
They're doing like they're hiding behind the strike and like, oh, the strike is the reason we have to delay this. No, this was being delayed no matter what.
There's no way in all of the different multiverses this movie gets delayed in all of them.
Yeah, Haley Steinfeld was doing press in June where she said she hadn't recorded any lines for this one. It was supposed to come out less than a year from then.
Yeah,
like honestly, I expect a 3 to 4 year. Yeah,
at least.
At the very least. Honestly, 5 is probably more realistic.
That would suck, but yeah.
Especially since they can't work on it right now.
Yeah, they just straight up can't.
Yeah, it's not going to happen anytime soon. I can't wait to have to explain that to a bunch of people. Being like, oh, wow, it was a part 1. When's the next one coming out? And I'll just be like...
One day. Someday, if you're very good.
When you're old.
One day when you're a very old man.
Sam, a movie we were very excited for, Kraven the Hunter, was supposed to come out in October. It has now been delayed almost a full year. It's going to come out August 30th, 2024. No. We were craving this movie.
What a shame.
We were on the hunt for it, and now we're just going to have to wait a little longer. We're just going to have to keep playing that trailer over and over again.
I guess it'll just bleed out.
I guess we'll have more time to have the trailer play on every one of the devices in our local Best Buy, but
That's awesome.
Why are you not excited for Kraven?
Shame.
I don't understand why you're not excited for Kraven.
Because it's Kraven.
You're excited for Morbius.
Yeah, but that's because there was like Morbius meme hype. This movie is like Morbius without the... This is what Morbius would have been if there was no meme.
But at least this one has other Spider-Man characters in it.
Does it though? Who?
It's got the Rhino. It's got the Chameleon.
Oh yeah, everyone's favorite villain, the Chameleon.
That's the first supervillain Spider-Man ever faced.
Maybe that's why no one knows who he is or cares about him at all.
I'm interested to see the Rhino.
The Rhino's not a character.
I want to see how dumb he looks.
The Rhino's just not a character.
I want to see if
he's
they're
just a big guy who smashes things.
I want to see if they're gonna have him be like a Rhino head, or if it's literally just going to be like a big CGI Rhino body with a face.
You think he'll just be Rocksteady from Ninja Turtles?
I think there's a pretty good chance they're just gonna turn him into Rocksteady from Ninja Turtles.
Or do you think he'll just be a big Rhino?
Well, we know he's gonna have big hands.
Do you think he'll be a regular man who just was transformed into a big normal Rhino?
I think he'll be like a anthropomorphic Rhino. I don't think he's gonna just be a big Rhino.
I think they might go the laziest possible route and have him
because then he's got
a final boss mode, right? He's got to turn final boss mode. So when he goes final boss mode, I think he'll just turn into a straight up regular.
No,
really
but then
big
the
Rhino.
problem is that the third act will just be Kraven punching a normal Rhino.
Yeah, The Rock did it.
But then he's just abusing animals.
No, because it's an evil Rhino. Because it's a smart, evil Rhino.
I can't wait to see how the blood of a lion turns him into a superpowered man.
Probably the same way the blood of a bat turned Morbius into a vampire man.
Love it so much. Venom 3 is now going to come out July 12th of 2024.
Oh, no.
So there's going to be 3 Spum movies next year. Madam Web, Venom 3.
Madam Web is not
Kraven the Hunter. Madam Web was not delayed. That was the only one that didn't move.
You know why it isn't delayed? It's still supposed to come out
in February. They've shot it already.
They have no intention of finishing that movie.
They shot the whole thing.
Yeah, all 2 scenes with live action characters.
They're still working on it.
Are fully filmed.
That's the only thing they're working on right now.
Why? Why would they bank everything on Madam Web?
Because they can't shoot any of the other stuff. Venom 3, I believe, was shooting. Craven they delayed because they can't promote it because of the strike.
Okay, hold up. Do they really think that the promotion of Craven is going to help at all?
Sam, you're asking that like Sony didn't make Morbius. They're obviously bad at decisions.
Okay, but I would hope, and obviously this is misplaced hope,
Yes.
but I would hope that they would have learned from Morbius how to not do a Morbius.
If they would have learned from Morbius, they wouldn't have made the movie Craven the Hunter.
Yeah, because it's just Morbius again.
Mm-hmm.
They could have
But they
called this movie
obviously
Morbius
didn't, so
again.
they're gonna just make Morbius again. And honestly, Madam Web will probably also just be the movie Morbius again.
Well, okay, but Madam Web is at least like a hero character.
It's gonna be Lady Spider-Man.
Yeah, but she's at least a hero character.
Okay, so instead of making Morbius, they're gonna remake The Amazing Spider-Man.
That's fine. That would have been that would have made infinitely more sense than making a Craven movie.
I mean, 3 Spum movies in 1 year.
If
There's no DC.
if you spent
Something's got to fill the hole of crap.
if you spent whatever they're spending on the Craven movie, right,
Mm-hmm.
on a mediocre, and I'm talking borderline garbage. I'm talking Amazing Spider-Man 2 quality Miles Morales movie.
Yep.
I guarantee you that would make 10 times whatever this Craven movie.
They made a Miles Morales movie and make more than the Craven and the Morbius and the Madam Web movie combined.
That's what I'm saying. If you took whatever the budget was for just the Craven movie and made a really bootstrap garbage Miles movie, it would make way more money than
100%.
this.
Yeah. So right now there is 3 MCU movies scheduled for next year, and 3 Spum movies, no DC movies. Although Deadpool 3 gonna get delayed. So is Thunderbolts because they're gonna switch.
Can't film those.
So there's gonna be really 2 MCU movies next year and definitely 3 Spum movies.
I feel like 2 MCU movies a year is the sweet spot.
That's what it used to be.
Because you get
And then they upped it to 3.
You get the summer hype with the summer one,
mm-hmm.
and then you get the Christmas
Thanksgiving
time, the
week.
Thanksgiving
Yeah.
holiday.
They always came
hype.
out like early November.
And they have plenty of time to
And that's
breathe.
where it works.
And you have time to process each one.
It worked best when it was you got the Marvel in the May, you got the Marvel in November, and then they plugged in the Star Wars in December.
And if they do like one show a
worked.
year, I think that would be okay.
Well, they can't. Although they're gonna do they've greenlit so many shows that I think you're just gonna see like the ones that matter
Yeah.
be weekly. The ones that don't, they're gonna echo and just dump them all at once.
Did Echo come out?
No, it comes out in November, but they're gonna dump all 6
Yeah,
episodes
I
at
don't
once.
care.
I mean, you're gonna have to watch it.
I'll probably like watch it while I'm playing video games.
You have to watch it because we're gonna talk about it.
No,
on
like
here.
I'll watch it, but I'm not gonna pay attention.
That's gonna be me during the Marvels. And
Well, but
probably
we'll see that
during
in
Captain
theaters.
America 4.
We'll see that in
And
theaters, so you'll
probably
have to pay
during the
attention.
Thunderbolts.
I think Marvels might be fun. At the very least, it'll be like fun, but it's not gonna be good. There's no way it'll be good, but it might be fun. Some of the cast is fun.
I guess.
It'll be fun to see Nick Fury and
Nick
Alon
Fury's last thing wasn't fun.
and Miss Marvel.
I'm gonna be angry when I see him again.
Yeah.
So I'll be like, wow, you've literally you've did a whole TV show and
wow,
you haven't changed
you
it at all.
did zero. of
Nothing has been
anything.
accomplished or lost.
You actually spent an entire week of your life doing absolutely
absolutely
nothing,
nothing.
while the daughter of a guy you know saves the world.
Great. You think Gaia's gonna be in it? I think no.
No, at the very most, she'll get a post credits.
The untitled Ghostbusters Afterlife sequel has been delayed from Christmas to March 29th, 2024. Again, that was going to happen no matter what because they had we don't even know the title of that movie. They hadn't released a trailer. I believe they just finished shooting recently.
No, don't delay that.
That one I believe has also had production troubles. I think
I care so
my
much.
I know you don't care, but as a Ghostbusters fan, I think there was some behind the scenes controversy stuff we didn't know about on Afterlife.
What do you mean?
And I think it's moved over because you know why? Because I rewatched Afterlife fairly.
Afterlife
recently.
got delayed because COVID.
No, not delays. I'm saying like the reason the movie is the way it is. I think I talked about this on the last episode or a couple
The
episodes
movie was
ago.
okay.
But there was like a very obvious shift, like halfway through.
Yeah, half of the
Afterlife,
characters just aren't in the movie.
where it
after a
just
certain
turns
point.
into just like nostalgia.
Yeah, they
overload.
just
And
abandoned
they just
everything
do
they
the
were
third
working
act
on.
of the first movie again. I think that Jason Reitman's original version of that movie was not as nostalgia bait heavy or Gozer stuff at all. And I think the studio took over at a certain point and forced all that stuff in because he quit this next one before they even started production.
Yeah. that
So
would make
I think
sense.
he there was a bunch of studio interference we didn't ever hear reported on.
Yeah,
And I think that's the reason why he quit this next
that
one.
could that would making sense.
Although March is super crowded, so Ghostbusters is going to get drowned out. And please, Bob, please make no money so that they stop.
Sony.
Even if it fails, they're going to try it again in 5 years.
Sony, when I see the movies you do, I wonder how you ever made movies. Ever.
Well, they bought a studio that was already in existence.
Have they ever made a good movie?
Spider-Verse.
But that's not even them.
That is them.
I'm talking a live action. Have they ever made a good live action movie?
Like a really good live action movie?
Just a good live action movie.
I mean, Bullet Train was okay.
Bullet Train was fine. A live action movie people care about.
I mean, they technically made them MCU Spider-Man movies.
Yeah, but no.
I mean, I have to look up what is Sony Pictures Films. It's gonna take me a second.
I can't think of. I mean, Bullet Train was okay. Like Bullet Train was, but I could not tell you what happens in Bullet Train. Bullet Train honestly was just bad John Wick.
Sony Pictures,
just a mediocre John
Film
Wick.
Library list of Columbia Pictures films. Let's go 2020. So just in the 2020s. Mitchell's versus the Machines.
That's animated.
Yeah, that's still them though.
I said live action movie.
Oh right. Venom, Let There Be Carnage.
That is not a good movie.
A Journal for Jordan.
Never heard of that movie.
Uncharted.
Movie was garbage.
Father Stew.
That movie was garbage.
Where the Crawdads Sing.
That no one saw that. That
Lyle,
was based on a
Lyle
Taylor Swift song.
Crocodile.
No one saw that. Movie garbage.
65.
That no one saw that.
No Hard Feelings.
Some people saw that, but just because Jennifer Lawrence was naked.
Gran Turismo.
That movie's gonna be garbage.
I think that's gonna be the best.
That movie's gonna be straight
I think it's gonna
trash.
be straight fire. Sam.
Straight dumpster fire, maybe.
They made the last Little Women. That was 4 years ago.
Yeah, and also no one cares about that movie.
That's a Greta Gerwig film.
Yes, but no one saw it except for
they did the Jumanjis.
Jumanji 1
the
was
last
okay.
two.
The second one.
Second one
no
was
one
less.
saw.
Yeah.
Sony just is an
Charlie's
L-machine.
Angels reboot. They did Zombieland. Zombieland's pretty good.
Zombieland's okay.
Did the last Angry? That's a cartoon though. Oh, I mean they did Quentin Tarantino's last movie.
Which one? What was
Once
that?
Upon a Time in Hollywood. It was 4 years ago, but you know.
So they have not had a W in 4 years.
Like in terms of like original, in terms of like.
I'm talking Sony.
Not a Spider-Man movie. Their last big like really good movie was Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I would think.
So
Unless
that,
I'm missing something.
Yeah, that's the last one I can think of that people generally liked and was like seen
financially successful.
Seen by people. Yeah.
That's not Spider-Man.
That's not Spider-Man.
Yes, or a cartoon.
Yeah.
All right. Again, Gran Turismo was delayed 2 weeks to August 25th. It means 2 more weeks of seeing that trailer.
Why would you delay something by 2 weeks? That is asinine. Why would you do that?
Apparently, they think the strike's going to be resolved.
You think the strike's just going to poof in 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Even if it does, you're not going to get
time to shoot.
You're not going to have time to ramp up marketing.
No.
You have to be the most lobotomite, dumb, juice brain man alive.
I think they might just be moving away. So I think they might just be trying to clear out from the Barbie mist.
Maybe they should try to clear out. From making
2
movies.
weeks, 2 more weeks from Barbie. I mean, if you want,
maybe they should just shut down Sony.
If they want the headline Gran Turismo #1 at the box office, moving back 2 weeks is smart because now there's not really competing with anything. But like, it's not gonna make money. Nobody, the whole thing, the only thing about this movie anyone talks about is how annoying it is to watch the trailer for it.
If Sony Pictures was a light switch, I would just turn it off. There's no way that Sony Pictures
There's
is
always
like
talk
profitable.
that they're going to sell it, but they
is
never.
Sony Pictures
never
profitable?
Will.
There's no way they're profitable.
Spider-Man
right?
keeps them in the green. Single-handedly, Spider-Man keeps them in the green.
Yeah.
That's the only reason they still exist as a studio. That's why there was talk of them being sold to Apple a few years ago, and that was the reason they weren't sold.
It's
because if they were sold, they couldn't retain Spider-Man. If they can't retain Spider-Man, they're not a viable financial
Here's what
investment.
I'm thinking they do. I'm thinking we make Spider-Man Studios.
I mean, if they have, they have.
Hang on.
Okay,
Hold up.
but they do have the rights.
Let me
to
finish
all
my
the-
thought.
Right.
All right. We make Spider-Man Studios with an AH. Spider-Man. All right. They sell the rights to Spider-Man to themselves. The Spider-Man Studios. Then you just turn off something.
So
Like, turn it off.
the Gran Turismo movie had an estimated budget for about $100 million.
They'll probably make that back.
So it needs probably
That's not that.
300
that's not
million?
crazy.
be in the green worldwide. A little bit more than that.
It's gonna do a lot in Japan for some reason.
It's not.
Yeah,
it's
it
really
will.
not. It's not even.
I get a
there's not even any
weird
Japanese
feeling.
actors in it.
No, but it's a Sony movie.
So
Japan likes Sony movies.
do they?
Yeah, they do.
I don't think he's gonna do well.
That's
at
why
all.
Bullet Train succeeded. It's just because
No,
Japan
I don't
liked
think
Bullet
anyone's
Train.
gonna like Gran Turismo. Apparently, I think the reviews came out today. But I think it's got a RT
It's got
score.
reviews already. Oh, that's not.
Yeah, because I think it came out in other countries this week, and they delayed it here, but not anywhere else. It's sitting at a solid 61% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Well, that's a.
I guess it could be worse.
That's good.
That's not good.
You know that's
but
good.
it could be worse.
When your movie comes out and people see it and they go, "Yeah, it could be worse."
Apparently, they changed the title.
So what?
It's Gran Turismo : based on a true story.
That's not a title. That's like an explanation.
It's listed as the official title.
That's stupid.
Bad Boys 4. It's going to come out June 14th, 2024. Will Smith making a comeback.
All right. Okay.
This is good for the Batgirl directors, since this is what they're going to do instead of Batgirl now.
Well, I'm glad that
They got a
already have
job,
something
that's
to do.
good.
That's good.
I mean, it's not good that Will Smith got a job because he assaulted Chris Rock on national
Yeah,
television.
but he was gonna come back eventually, and like,
No, Will Smith was never going to go away. He's
yeah,
Will
like
Smith.
this was never gonna be permanent. And also, like, out of all the things that like
He's
an
got to
actor,
get prepped for his Men in
Okay.
Black comeback.
out of all the actors that have been canceled for things, I think him slapping someone in the grand scheme of things actors have done that is insane is not really that high up there.
You mean like compared to all the ones that sexually assaulted people?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess normal assault isn't as bad.
No, but I'm saying like, okay, he slapped a guy one time. Like,
That's true.
actors get into bar fights that are way more
True.
violent. than
Ezra
that.
Miller's assaulted both.
The only reason why anyone cares is because it happened on TV. If Will Smith had gotten a bar
Well, he's
fight,
also like an A-list actor.
if Will Smith had gotten a bar fight and slapped a guy, not a single human being would have even heard about it.
No, I mean, I think it was one was television. Two was that he slapped another famous person.
Yeah,
3, it was that he's an A-list actor, and 4 it was that he literally won the Oscar later on that same.
yeah. I mean, it was a lot of things, but
It's
like,
the fact that he did it and then won an award.
no. But my thing is like him slapping Chris Rock was completely unprompted, and I'm not endorsing that
No.
behavior. I'm just saying, in the grand scheme of all the things that happen in Hollywood, that's not really that bad. But okay, we're back.
All right. Anyway, let's move on to some strike updates. Obviously, that is what is mostly responsible for some of these delays.
Yeah,
And again, good. It is
That's
good
the
that
point.
they are
That
delayed.
is the
Honestly, any
idea.
society where we have to wait, any society where Gran Turismo doesn't exist
is a better society.
So if we could wait,
If we
for
can
that to
delay,
happen,
if we could just keep pushing it back as
it's
long
like
as we
pushing back
can.
Doomsday.
Yeah.
That's Gran Turismo's Doomsday. Anyway, so a couple little updates involving the strike. Studios are going to begin terminating first look and overall deals with actors and writers in an effort to pressure striking talent. Boo.
That's again the point. They were gonna not do those anyway.
Yeah, well, they're for like
So-
future, so when they come back, they won't have deals with the studios.
Oh yeah, I'm sure that is really gonna happen.
Disney and Universal are paying lobbyists to block legislation that would prohibit them from getting tax breaks if they use AI in the place of workers. So
Yeah.
Disney and Universal
I
are lobbying
fully expect
Congress because there's going to be legislation soon on if they don't hire workers where they're filming,
They don't get
they won't
tax
get a
breaks.
tax break from where they're filming.
Because the reason that they get tax breaks
Is because they're employing local.
is so
people.
hypothetically they can pass those profits on to their workers.
Well, it's because
it's
film
because
in
they're
Austra-
supposed to be
if
taking
you try
care
to
of
film
the
in
workers.
Australia and you get a tax break from the Australian government to film there, it's because you're employing like 70% of your staff is
Yeah.
Australian people.
But if you are just using AI,
Yeah, for
then you're
all
not
those
employing
jobs,
anyone.
you're not employing anyone.
So why would you don't need the tax break.
But they want the tax break anyway, so they're gonna
Lobby
Congress.
Congress.
So you're gonna see a lot of people in Congress in the next couple days, or in the next
Suddenly caring
weeks,
a lot about
suddenly
this.
come out and be like, guys, AI is really good. We love AI. AI's neat. It's gonna do all the jobs.
Which political side do you think is gonna become the AI guys?
Because
Because one of them's gonna pick the thing. Because one of them's got to be for and one of them's got to be against it. Andrew Yang came out swinging against the AIs.
I don't know.
But Elon Musk is also swinging against the AIs, and he's very much like a right.
Elon Musk is not against AI. He said he wants X to be run by AI.
No, but he's like anti-transhumanist.
Honestly, I think you'll get like. It's probably gonna be the right.
That's for the AIs, or
That's
against
for the AIs.
Probably.
But also some, like the Trump fans aren't.
Tech companies are majority left-leaning.
Here's true. Yeah, so Disney and Universal are run by all Democrats, people on the left, right? And they're supported, and they're going to support all the socially left causes.
They could just create,
but
they
they
just
also
make this a cause.
That's true. They could make this like a.
But see, okay, here's the thing.
I don't know how you turn this into like a pro. So like
left-wing populism is very much about like helping the little guy.
Yeah, so in order for turn this into left-wing populism, they're gonna have to spin this as like helping workers.
But it's just there's no way to do that.
Yeah,
it just straight up doesn't.
That's what I'm struggling to think. I'm struggling to think of a way that they can propose this as anything other than. I think it
has to be a right-leaning thing. Because you could make the argument, oh, this is going to save the companies money, and that's going to make things cheaper, and then that's going to
help the economy. Yeah,
and that's generally the right has a monopoly on economy.
But
arguments.
Also, the left is going to be like, we're giving tax breaks to the rich corporation.
But they don't like that sometimes.
Exactly, but they're voting in favor of giving the large company tax breaks for no reason.
True.
So I don't know.
Could go
it doesn't matter. It's whoever they're going to pay the most money is going to come out.
I'm just saying, which one you think they'll pick?
I don't know. Again, because there's like the two sides of the coin.
Yeah.
It's the fact that one is like, yeah, I don't know. Anyway, Warner Brothers Discovery claims that the strike has saved them $100 million over the course of the past couple weeks. Honestly, they're so bad at financial management. I see how not working would save them money because everything they do fails.
Well, okay.
It's making them more money for no one to be working than it was for them to be working.
It saves them money because they don't have to pay their employees right now.
They don't have to pay, yeah.
But in the very near future, like in the next month or two, that's going to become a problem for them when they don't have any content to put out.
Which I think it's better for them if they don't, because then they're not taking more losses as they do on a regular basis.
Maybe they should just turn the company off.
Or Barbie.
Keep Barbie and turn the rest off.
Barbie, big hit.
Barbie
make $1 billion, biggest hit of the year so far.
True.
It's going to single-handedly. Now they're only going to be $48 billion in debt.
They're climbing their way out.
Slowly but surely, they're just going to make 50 more Barbies.
At what point do you think that the government's just going to bail them out?
Oh, never. They're going to be bought by Comcast. And all their debt will go away.
That's the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, they're just going to be bought. That's what he's doing. That's what Zaslav's doing.
He's just prepping for a buyout?
No, he's stripping it for sale. That's
stripping
obvious.
What?
The company.
Stripping it of what?
He's stripping it of all the unattractive assets, and then he's going to
sell it off. They only have unattractive assets. What is an attractive asset that they have?
The brand.
What brand?
The Harry Potter brand, the DC brand.
Those are losing money hand over fist right now.
I know, but they could make money later on.
But they don't. Right now, they don't. They haven't for a long time.
He's stripping it for parts so he can sell it off. I mean, they're gonna sell to Comcast. The only reason they haven't sold to Comcast yet is because they're legally not allowed to for like 2 more years.
Yeah.
And as soon as that is over, you will immediately hear talks of it being sold. David Zaslav is not here for long term. He's here for short term to strip the company of parts so that he can collect a check and go home.
But then don't you think he would...
Because AT&T still owns a majority stock, and they don't want to. They're trying to sell that stock to someone. And the only person who can buy, who's the money to afford buying something from an internet provider is another internet provider.
I mean, Apple probably could buy.
But Apple's not going to do it.
They wouldn't, because they don't have any practical use for that.
No, what are they going to do with Warner Brothers?
Does Warner Brothers own any like news channels?
They own CNN.
Oh, then that's why you buy it. I
guess
CNN.
Apple could buy them. Amazon could buy them. Comcast
Amazon
could buy them. Those are like the 3 companies that can afford to purchase
Amazon
Warner
is
Brothers.
because
CNN right now.
CNN is very valuable because you can influence a lot of people with it very easily. So like if I'm Amazon, I already own the Wall Street Journal, so I basically have a monopoly
And
on
Whole Foods.
I basically have a monopoly on like written journalism at this point because like who reads anything from any other like
You
news
a big
website?
fan of the Wall Street Journal, Sam? You reading a lot of
No,
the
but
Wall
like
Street Journal?
name one other paid journalism website that people
New
actually
York
use.
Post.
But the only
New
reason
York Times.
they own the New York Times. That's what I'm talking about.
No, they own the New York. Which one do they?
They own the New York
Do they
Times.
own the New York Times?
They own the New York Times.
No, I thought you said who owns the Wall Street Journal?
Oh,
They own the Wall Street Journal. Which one do they own? They own one of them.
They own one of the things. What do they own? Google, show me this guy's balls, please. What?
You know, there was another
news
season of that?
Does of what?
Of the Eric Andre show.
Oh no, I didn't know that was even from the Eric Andre show.
That's from a sketch.
Thought it was a TikTok noise.
Oh my gosh. Podcast.
They own the Independent.
Good.
Okay, Amazon News. This is the Amazon News website, but I'm not looking for Amazon News. I'm looking for what?
Okay, let me do this for you. What newspaper does Jeff Bezos own? He owns the Washington Post, which is neither. He owns the Washington Post.
Okay, Washington Post.
Good. I mean, he could merge that with CNN. He could buy CNN. He could merge.
He graciously sold it to his holding company, Nash Holdings.
Oh, thank you.
His private investment
company.
company.
Oh, good. Now it's really in the public.
Oh wait, they own more than one. Hold up.
Oh,
newspapers is Amazon. Here we go. Okay, it's not letting me click this button.
Does it own Yahoo News?
Click. All right, it doesn't want me to click it.
Okay, well, let's not worry about that right now. The point is that Warner Brothers is going to be sold.
Most likely.
More strike stuff. Disney has started an AI task force to research how it can employ AI to help save them money. So
that's
the only way AI saves you money is by replacing the jobs of other people.
Yeah, so when you hear X company is looking for ways to
save money with AI,
that translates directly to they are looking for a way to fire employees.
To fire people and replace them with the AI.
Yeah.
Because that is how you save money with AI, is that the AI does the job of another person.
Which now, for industries like manufacturing, stuff like that, where robots are already taken over, that's a bit of a different thing, because those people can... The purpose of manufacturing is not to... What's the word? They're not creating art. They don't demonstrate human expression.
They're creating product.
They create a truck.
Yes.
Which is meant to be sold. And now, Disney does still create product. The art is a product. But it is still art.
They also create just straight up product.
The purpose of art is supposed to be an expression of some human.
Well, also, they're employing AI in the company in, like, accounting.
Yeah.
They're not, this is not, like, exclusively writers. This is, like, everybody. Like, the people who, like, the number crunchers, like, company attorneys.
Well, yeah, those guys are going to go real
sales people, secretaries, anyone who just, like, does a normal office job for Disney, they're also looking to replace them with AI.
And then this is not the only company looking to do that.
No,
Microsoft
every company is looking to do that.
Any company with a job that has to do with... She's fine. Any job that has to do with, like, a paper pusher.
Anyone who does their job mostly on their computer.
Yeah, any computer-based job is basically
dunzo.
Even non-computer-based jobs are already looking pretty dunzo right now.
Looking good, everybody. Learn to code, am I right?
Yeah, but they can do that.
But
too,
the AI
so.
codes.
So maybe that's also screwed.
WGA and AM. Okay, so the WGA and the AMPTP, which is the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers, and the WGA is, of course, the Writer Guild. The AMPTP is the studios. They restarted talks last Friday on August 4th. A variety of issues discussed included increasing minimums, payment for rewrites and revisions, minimum writing staff size for television series, guaranteed length of employment, revised global residuals and viewership statistics, and an establishment of a residuals based on streaming viewership, as well as, of course, a ban on AI-generated material or the use of previous writers' work to train AI to write material. The talks didn't really go anywhere in particular. Of course, the AMPTP is mostly resistant to that stuff. The WGA insists that even if they do end up striking a deal, in the next couple weeks. They will remain on strike until the actors also get a fair deal. They're going to supposedly both remain on strike until they both have deals. We'll see if SAG gets to the table first or the WGA
Man, so
does.
the directors union really just does not
The
give a crap.
WGA struck a deal like instantly.
They were like, "Yup, we're good."
No, it was
Screw
the big,
you guys.
Yeah, no, it was a big thing because they wanted it to be all three.
Yeah.
If it was all three,
It'd
this would have
already
been
be
solved
over.
2 months ago.
Yeah, it'd already be over.
But because it's just these two, it's gonna drag out for longer, especially with the writers who are like the bottom of the totem pole.
Yeah, because those are number one, the easiest to replace with AI, and two, like the least visible.
So here's how this is looking. So the increased minimums, I would say, is probably going to happen because they have to increase. They're not going to get out of this without increasing the wages with inflation.
Yeah, okay.
Otherwise, there's nothing.
Strikes do not end unless the wages go up. Ever.
You're going to have to pay them more.
Ever. Yeah. That's never. I can't ever think of a time where a strike happened
and they didn't
struck
have
a
to pay
deal
them more
and they didn't
as a
pay
base
them
salary.
More. Yeah.
Payment for rewrites and revisions. They might get minimum writing staff size. They're not going to get, I would assume. Guaranteed length of employment is probably the one that's like the most pie in the sky because you're working in Hollywood, you're working in television. If your show
that's
gets canceled, there's
really
no way they're
sense.
going to guarantee that you're employed for a certain amount of time.
Well, and Japan already has a system like that, but like just taken to the maximum extreme.
McDonCast drinking game for every time Sam references something that happens in Japan.
They literally cannot fire you. Ever.
Which is not good either.
Yeah, so what they'll do instead of firing you is they'll just make your life suck. They'll just bully you until you leave.
I don't think they're not going to get them guaranteed length of employment. Revised global residuals and viewership statistics. Again, I don't know on that one. Residuals based on streaming.
They're going
to have some sort of system for that.
That is
whether or not they end up
happen.
publicly reporting the numbers. The WGA, at least, like the actual union, they're gonna end up coming out of this with some way to know.
Again,
this
doesn't end without the residuals thing.
Yeah,
because the AI
it probably
thing,
won't even be good residuals. It'll just be some residuals.
Yeah, the AI thing that could honestly go either way. I feel like because that is the most obvious and blatant example of them just like trying to screw everyone over.
Yeah,
but also there's a certain degree of inevitability to that as well. That
AI is going to be involved.
Even if they do strike a deal
at some point,
yeah, eventually it will.
Whether
be involved.
It's actually writing the whole thing itself,
or if it's just doing
side tasks. I mean, it's going to be involved.
I mean, heck, okay. Let's say I'm a writer who working in Hollywood, right? If I use an AI to generate maybe some idea, maybe I have writer's block. I can't come up with an idea for how to end this script. I just use it to generate ideas.
For what
where does that fall under the use of AI and in creation of stuff? So
I think the AI is probably going to be split. I think this contract, they're going to come out of it with just straight up using AI to write a script and then producing the AI script.
It's very hard to find the line.
I think they might come out of it without the studios being able to like use AI to generate a script and then bringing in writers and paying them less to punch it up.
Yeah,
I think they'll probably won't be able to do that, and then using the previous work to train the AI. Honestly, I don't even think that's up to the studio. I think the AI is just going to learn off that whether or not it has the ability.
I don't even know if that's something you can.
As long as it's on the internet, the AI is going to learn.
Because let's say for example they do strike that deal.
The only thing that's going to stop AI from doing that would be a lawsuit.
Let's say even that. So let's say for example a deal does go through. They can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't stop private citizens from Googling B-movie script, copying that, pasting it into ChatGPT,
and then
now it has access to all of that, it's going to learn off of it anyway.
ChatGPT is going to learn off everything on Google.
A
lot of movie scripts, full movies are available on the internet. It's going to learn off the movies.
Anything that you can paste into that generation bar that you're giving to the AI, it learns off that.
Yeah, no.
Anything you give it as a prompt, it learns off.
Whether or not the studios are doing it themselves, I mean, the AI is going to learn off it anyway. So there's no way they're going to stop that. I think that's the whole point of negotiation.
You can stop the studios from doing that.
But it's still going to happen.
So what you can do is you can stop them from training their own models.
Their own version of AI, yes.
Which would be a huge problem if they were doing that. But you can't stop. You can't stop. Things like GPT, whatever comes next after that. You can't stop those things from
anything
learning.
that has access to the internet. It's going to learn off things on the internet.
Or if it has access to a human being who has access to the internet, that human being is gonna put stuff from the internet on there just through regular use.
So this is good news though that they come back to the table. It's been 100 days of the writer's strike now. It's good that they have at least talked at some point. That means negotiations are going to happen again. The writers are not going to get everything they asked for.
Have you seen that one guy on TikTok who's like super hyped about the writer's strike and being a scab because like some studio like greenlit his like trilogy of crappy like super Christian horror movies?
What?
Yeah, so there's this guy on TikTok.
Is it a joke?
No, this is real. Because those he's already made a couple movies, and they're all garbage.
For like Angel Studios.
It might be. I don't know the exact studio, but he has a deal with like a major studio now to make a trilogy of movies because like they can't get anyone else, which is just awesome.
I mean, again, union negotiations. The unions aren't going to get everything they asked for. But that's kind of the point. That's the point of negotiating, is that honestly everything the union's asking for, some of it, it doesn't, like, that's a little pie in the sky. Like getting residuals or getting money when the movies are re-released in theaters like 30 years after they come out, that's probably not going to happen. You're not going to get that. That's not a very realistic expectation. But
I mean, they have that for TV shows.
Protections from AI, stuff like that, like raising the salaries because they haven't been raised in 15 years.
Yeah.
Stuff like that, like they definitely should be getting, and that will definitely come out. They will come out of this negotiation with that in some form. It's
basic maintenance
how drastic
stuff.
it is.
Basic maintenance stuff that just like maintains the conditions that existed prior to this deal.
Yeah.
They're probably all going to get that stuff.
Some sort of residual system, an increase in pay, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll give you strike updates whenever we can.
Yeah, whoa, dog.
The strike is obviously, especially for SAG right now, there's no movement, so it'll come as it. We'll report it as it comes, and it comes very slowly.
Yeah.
Moving on, the Loki season 2 got a trailer. Did you watch this, Sam?
Pulled up. Ooh, whoops. I did. I think I did, anyways.
Looks fun.
Looks good. I mean, I like Loki.
Loki season 1 is good.
Loki season 1 is the best of the Marvel shows. Easily.
Kwan is in this season.
Not even a remotely close competition. Actually, this is the only one that's actually good.
Loki's glitching. Did you see that in the trailer?
Yeah, he's got a time warping, is what he says.
He's glitching from Spider-Man.
But you can't time warp in the TVA. So what's going on?
No, he's glitching though. Like this is their way to tie it into Spider-Man.
No, it's not the Spider-Man
joking,
thing.
But no, he's doing the same thing.
He's time slipping, is what they says.
Yeah, he ends up in a McDonald's with Sylvie. She's working at McDonald's in the 80s or
She's
something.
a McDoodle employee.
McDonald's is going to do a tie-in meal.
That's good.
It's going to...
Do you think the toys will be Loki toys? Or do you think it'll just be like a Loki meal?
No, it's going to be like Sylvie's McDonald's.
Sylvie's burger.
It's just going to be like
green.
Yeah, no, it's just going to be like a burger with an extra...
Honestly, Burger King is doing way, way better with the collab meals than McDonald's.
McDonald's collab meals are always just their normal meals.
It's just a normal meal.
It just has like a special sauce.
Yeah, it'll have a green sauce. Because like Burger King, when Spider-Man came out, they had straight up Spider-Man burger. Yeah. And it looked like a spoon.
I think it's just because McDonald's doesn't change the menu. Like the menu is the menu. It doesn't really change ever.
Yeah. Well, no, they did the Grimace Shake. They like had a special
that's like a
thing
specialty
for that.
item. Like they're never gonna change the burger.
Well, I'm saying
recipe.
they could have a specialty item for Loki.
Do the Loki shake.
The Loki shake, and it turns you green.
Ooh, it turns you green. What about that, dog? That podcast, dog.
The timeline is running out. I
don't think that's how timelines work.
Well, that's how it works here, I guess.
Anyway, it looks like fun. They waited to put Kang until all the way at the end.
Well, they got to, because he's the big bad.
And because he's played by maybe a criminal.
well, you gotta wait and see on that.
They can't recast him now. I mean, it's him or
it is what
no
it is.
one.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm looking forward to this though. I do like Loki.
He's still fighting the TVA.
Tom Hiddleston apparently has like a quality control over this show, so I think it's still probably going to be good. I know that it's a new writing team, and I know it's a new director for the whole season from season 1, but honestly, Michael Waldron's not a great writer, so that's maybe an upgrade.
Well, the first season was good.
First season was good, but then he wrote Multiverse of Madness.
Well, yeah. Okay. But To be fair, that movie was supposed to come out in a totally different order, and they had to change a bunch of stuff.
And they had to reshoot. It's not a lot.
Yeah, and they had to do 1,000,000,000 reshoots.
It's like an hour ago.
We only got one more story. Relax.
Anyway, it had the biggest debut ever for a Disney Plus show with 80 million viewers in the first 48 hours.
Yeah, because it's the only show that they made that's good that people care about.
And the budget for the season, 141 million.
It's less than
Secret Invasion cost 212.
How did they spend more on Secret Invasion? That doesn't even make any sense.
Apparently, it's because they shot Secret Invasion twice.
Why?
They reshot the whole thing.
Why?
First time was bad.
Okay.
Second time was worse or less bad. Yeah, and more Marvel news. There was a rash of Fantastic Four casting rumors.
Yeah,
this past
I saw
week.
a bunch. Okay, I'm so over Fantastic Four casting trailers. Okay, number one,
They
I don't
can't
care.
Yeah.
I don't care at all.
Also, why is it taking this long?
My care for Fantastic Four actors, who's gonna be Mr. Fantastic, is like, I've never cared less about who's cast as a Marvel character, I think. Because here's the thing. Out of all the Marvel characters, I care about the Fantastic Four the least. They are my least favorite Marvel characters. They could be played by actual chipmunks.
Sam thinks they're boring.
I don't care. They are boring.
They are kind of boring.
The stretchy guy is stupid, because stretching powers are always stupid. I stand by, stretching powers are the worst powers of all superpowers.
Also, visually, they're kind of gross.
They always look bad. The Invisible Woman, honestly, is fine. It's just her name, I think, is the dumbest in all of superheroes. The Human Torch, honestly, his name's not much better. He's the only one who's got powers that are, like, at least look cool. But he's just so lame. And then there's the Thing, who's just the Hulk, but worse.
He's made of rocks.
Yeah, that's lame. That's stupid.
Okay, so here's the rumors. A brief recap. Vanessa Kirby, everyone's saying she's been cast. She's been cast as Sue Storm.
Okay.
She's the only one who signed on. She signed on before the strike happened. She's going to be the lead of this movie.
Oh.
So apparently she was the top choice, and then she read for it, and she didn't get it. And she wasn't a good fit, and so then they went to Margot Robbie, but Margot Robbie wanted too much money. And so then they went back to Vanessa Kirby and signed her before the SAG strike.
That's not a good sign.
Initially, it was thought that Jack Quaid was going to be Johnny Storm. Jack Quaid is Huey from The Boys.
Oh. He could be good.
Yeah. Apparently, he was going to be Johnny Storm, and then he said no. He debunked that on Twitter. And then it was later claimed that it's going to be Joseph Quinn, who's Eddie from Stranger Things.
Okay.
Apparently the confusion was that whoever leaked it saw JQ and thought it was Jack Quaid. It was revealed not to be Jack Quaid, and then they figured out later it was Joseph Quinn.
That's
honestly sounds probably like it's gonna happen.
I could see him as,
he's not a big actor. He's popular with the kids.
I could see him being a Mr. Johnny. What's his name?
Johnny Storm.
Johnny Storm.
So apparently,
I thought his name was Johnny Blaze, but that's a different guy.
No, that's Ghost Rider.
Yeah, different guy.
Multiple high-profile actors have been approached for these roles in the past months because they've been trying to cast this forever. Apparently, they approached Adam Driver for Mr. Fantastic. He turned it down.
I think that's the wrong choice.
Adam Driver, Margot Robbie. Of course, they went for Sue Storm. They approached Matt Smith for Mr. Fantastic.
That actually would have been bomb.
They approached Denzel Washington for Galactus, and he obviously said no.
Wait, they're doing Galactus?
Yeah, he's going to be the villain. And they approached Dev Patel for Mr. Fantastic.
Nope. And for those reasons, I'm out. I'm
done.
No, I'm good.
Apparently,
good.
The Adam Driver said no because the script was bad.
Yeah, Galactus is the villain. It's
and they've
obviously
since hired a new screenwriter. And then Margot Robbie turned it down for money. There's no word on Matt Smith, whether or not he turned it down or not, but probably he did. Denzel Washington said no because it's a Marvel. And he would never do that in a million years.
Remember that Marvel movie where there was a full team of superheroes that were well established in this universe already that we had never seen before, but were apparently there the whole time.
The Internals.
And they have to assemble, get their family all ready to go because a giant, bigger than planet-sized monster is about to destroy Earth and kill all the humans on Earth. Remember that one?
The rumors are this is a period piece set in the 60s.
Yeah, that's still stupid.
And then at the end, they're going to be
that doesn't make it less dumb. Galactus should be one of the big bads. Not a guy you throw
He could be the
away in
big bad for
Fantastic
like
Four
3.
movie.
He could be the big bad for like the trilogy of Fantastic Four movies.
He should be a phase whatever villain.
Honestly, I don't think that's necessarily true.
I think that
You
he's
can't build to Galactus because
you
Galactus
can.
is always just a villain that shows up and then you have to punch him and then he leaves.
okay. So
There's no build up to Galactus.
You
The
do
build
his
up to
heralds.
Galactus is that Galactus is
you do
coming.
the Heralds of Galactus, and yeah, they go, Galactus is coming.
Galactus sends his goons.
That's what they did with Thanos.
But you,
They had Thanos send his goons. They beat Thanos' goons. They go, guys, Thanos is coming, and they built up to him over time.
But Thanos, there was like the Infinity Stones, and you introduce the stones, and then he wants to get the stones, and then he does the big snap, and you die. Everyone dies, and then you bring him back.
Okay, so
Like,
you have it. So
no. Stop for like 5 seconds. Galactus, all Galactus ever does in the comics and in the TV shows and everything is he's a big purple man who floats in from space, tries to eat the Earth. All the heroes team up, and they all punch him, and then he goes away.
okay, so can you remind me what exactly Thanos does?
He wants to collect
He's a
the
big
magic
purple
cups.
guy who floats up from space, kills all the humans.
Okay.
The heroes team up to beat him. They punch him and he goes away.
No.
It's the same guy.
But at least with Thanos, you have the stones, and you have like some like little. You have MacGuffins.
There are
and
MacGuffins that delay his arrival.
You have the snap, so you get that the twist of everyone dying and then coming back. Like Galactus, you don't get any of that. Galactus, you just get guy shows up, tries to eat planet, and that's it. That's all. Galactus.
Okay, yes.
Galactus is not a character. Galactus is not a character.
Thanos didn't used to be a character until they made him one.
But you can't make Galactus a character.
Why
either.
not?
Also, Thanos was somewhat of a character. Like Thanos is a guy.
He was
Galactus
a
is not-
serial killer.
Galactus is not a guy. He's a thing. He's just a big. He's essentially a big robot.
Yes, that's still interesting.
Not really. What's interesting about Galactus?
What's interesting about H.P. Lovecraft?
What do you mean? What's interesting about the guy?
The stories he wrote. What were they about?
Weird monsters.
Forces greater than mankind can comprehend interfering with man's affairs. That's what is scary about Galactus. It's that he's so powerful and so outside the scope of human capacity that he just destroys stuff and you can't do much about
He has
it.
no motivation. He has no feel. Like there's no character to Galactus.
But
He is
that's what
just a
makes him
big
scary.
thing. He's essentially like I know everyone memes on the Rise of the Silver Surfer Stormcloud, but I mean that's essentially what he is. He's just a big weather. He's a big weather event.
That's still a scary
that's
thing.
Somewhat scary, but you can't do anything with that from a story perspective.
so here's
it's just a thing that happens.
You just have it so he's sealed away somewhere. Someone is trying to get him out. Someone's trying to bring him back.
But then there's a secondary
They
villain.
stop him. He eventually comes back, or someone else takes his place. Someone eventually lets him out. He sends his heralds. You can fight them too. Then he arrives. Then you fight him. It's a very easy story to tell.
But the heralds aren't interesting either.
So Tucker,
Okay,
all you gotta
stop,
write them
stop.
so they're
Please
interesting.
Just stop for 5 seconds.
You're making arguments that are like not real arguments.
But with like the stones, right? There's different stones and they're in different places and they do different things, right?
Uh-huh.
The heralds, yes, they have different powers, but when you boil it down, they all just show up and shoot at people and tell people Galactus is coming and then they're defeated. And
What did the guys with the Infinity Stones do before Thanos got them?
I'm saying
They came to Earth and they shot lasers.
but at
That's
least-
what Marvel movies
But
are.
at least those villains have like different motivations and they fight different guys and their stones do different things.
So
the
give-
heralds all have the same motivation. They're there to tell everyone that the big cloud's coming and then the big cloud comes. That's it.
Okay.
There's nothing else to that.
But that gives the writers
There's
the
no tension.
opportunity.
There's no tension.
That gives the writers the opportunity to add more detail to the story. Thanos' story is very stupid by itself, the way it originally was told. Because he only does it because he thinks death is hot, and that's it.
But that's a motivation.
Hang on.
That's
They
something.
completely changed it in
Yes,
the
they
MCU.
did. Mhm.
And that made him a way more compelling villain. Just because a villain in the comics was lame and stupid doesn't mean he has to stay lame and stupid.
What would you add to Galactus to make him interesting?
So first
Give him a
off,
backstory other than he's hungry.
you make him one of the Eternals. And
You mean one of the Celestials?
you make him one of the Celestials.
Okay.
You make it so he was an evil one that they banished away to some other universe. Okay?
Okay.
Someone or something is trying to bring him back for some nefarious purpose. That can be, you can come up with that. That's not.
Well, that would
there are
have to
lots
be
of reasons
another.
why
That'd
villains
have
want
to
to
be
do
like
evil
a
stuff.
second villain.
That's fine. Loki was a secondary villain, and everyone liked Loki.
That's true.
That's not a, and he was doing the same thing. He was trying to open a big space hole to bring in Thanos' goons.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's not. They've done this before.
So that would be like your part 1, and then the second one would be he shows up.
Then the second one, he shows up, but he's not at full power yet. So he's like maybe dormant or something.
He's got to eat smaller planets to get all warmed up.
He gets warmed up, and he creates some heralds, and you send them out to different planets that have already been established in the MCU. You send one to Xandar. You send one to the Guardians' home planet. You send one to Earth. You send them to different places we already know. And then you can have a Guardians movie where they fight a herald. Or you don't even have to call them heralds, but like they all have the same message. Like at the end of the movie, they're like, I'm trying to save you. This other thing is going to be way worse. And you build to that builds so much tension because you're like, why are all these characters in all these different movies? They're hyping up this guy. He must be a big deal. And that's what they did with Thanos. And it was really cool. It's very easy to do that again.
See, that could maybe work. I have 2 problems with it. One, it would involve doing stuff with the Eternals, which I don't think they'll ever do again.
Okay, and the Eternals don't have to be involved. It can just be a Celestial, because the Celestials are already involved anyway.
2, again, I think it would just be that like repetition of it's the same. You would essentially just be using the same villain multiple times.
But Marvel people like it.
I know, but the Marvel villains are very similar, but they're not like technically like.
Because think about what I said. Compare that to what they're doing right now. What's Kang's motivation?
He's bad.
He's just mean.
Yeah.
That's stupid.
No, but like that's what they would end up doing with Galactus is that he's big and mean and hungry. Like they wouldn't put any more effort into it than that.
Galactus is scary because he has no real thought out reason for what he's doing. He is a force of nature. It's the like 7 stories, man versus man, man versus technology, this is man versus nature. It's one of the basic 7 stories that people tell. That's what makes it compelling. Thanos was, I guess that would be like man versus man, really.
Reach in that fridge and grab me a Fanta grape, please.
I'm saying that they have an opportunity to make him interesting. But he has the capacity to be a big bad end of phase villain.
Well, he's definitely
he's
definitely a villain where you can have everyone team up and fight together.
And that's what you need.
That works. I'm just saying, like,
Kang can do that, but right now he's not doing it.
As an audience member, like Galactus, just like as a character to spend a lot of time with, I would not be invested.
But again, we wouldn't spend a lot of time with Galactus because Galactus, like you said, is basically an event. What you spend time on is the secondary villains that are warning people that the event is coming.
Silver Surfer would have to be a main guy.
Yeah, and Silver Surfer totally could be a main guy. They just used him absolutely terribly.
I think he's probably going to be
in the original one.
I think Silver Surfer's probably going to be in this.
Well, if they fight Galactus, he has to be.
Yeah.
But that's the thing.
Don't get a Disney
if they do the whole Galactus story arc in this, that'd be stupid. Now, they do have an opportunity here, and this kind of connects to what I was saying a minute ago, where he's sealed in some other dimension
and then
or whatever.
Bring him back for Secret Wars or whatever.
He could be sealed away by the Fantastic Four to return later on for another phase.
If they do him, they'll probably do that. Not for another phase, but like
for another maybe the Young Avengers movie
as like a wild card move in Secret Wars to destroy Battle World. We got the Planet Eater guy.
Maybe Kang creates Battle World, and then
they bring in
the Fantastic Four use Galactus to destroy it. But then that ends up creating a bigger like. There's a lot of interesting things you could do with Galactus, and again, most of the interesting things around Galactus come from him being a mindless monster.
Anyway,
that's
we got more stuff
cool.
to get to. The Bears' Ebon Moss-Bachrach.
Is he the main guy?
Has been cast in an undisclosed role in the movie. Apparently, he also might be the Thing. He is. Did you watch The Bear?
I watched the first season.
Okay, cousin.
Yeah,
it's him.
Oh, he could totally.
He could be a good thing.
Yeah, he could be a good thing.
If that's who he's playing. That's a great show, by the way. You haven't seen
The Bear?
It is
really good. I think I'm like 2 or 3 episodes into the second season.
Okay, yeah, no, season 2 is even better, man. That's one of the best directed shows I think I've ever seen.
That show it has the cinematography of like a Sam Levinson show without all of the other stuff in Sam Levinson shows.
Then it's well made and interesting.
Yeah. like Sam Levinson has
sleazy.
really good cinematography and he has a really good eye for like shot composition. The Bear has that similar quality where like it's very, very well shot, looks very cool.
The Bear has everything else that makes it
but without all the weird sex stuff.
Yes, no, The Bear is very good if you haven't seen The Bear.
All right. Is that it for Fantastic Four?
That's it for the news.
All right. We got to talk about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Let's talk about a movie. Movie time.
Yep.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem. This is like the 5th time they've tried this.
This is the only one that was good.
There was, of course, the live-action one in the 90s. They did
second
3 of those.
live-action one? The third
there was the
live-action one?
CG cartoon in the 2000s, TMNT.
Yeah.
There was the live action ones where they were CGI, the Michael Bay ones. And this is the fourth one. This is another CG cartoon.
There was a movie made for the 2D cartoon, but I don't think it was theatrically released.
Rise, yeah, that was on Netflix. Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the movie. I saw that. It was pretty good.
It looked really good. I never saw it though. The fight scenes looked freaking crazy.
Yeah, I watched first episode of the show when it came out, and then I watched the movie. I didn't need to see. You don't need to see the show to see the movie. You'll pretty much get it. Anyway, that's not what we're talking about. I thought this was really good.
This was really solid all around.
I thought
the villain was great. I loved him.
Superfly. It's got a great voice cast all around, especially that core four.
They have a really good chemistry.
Really good chemistry.
You really believe that those are middle school kids.
Yeah, honestly, that's conversations you would hear.
Like they behave and they talk exactly like you would expect.
They finally
actual real life things.
Is that what those are?
What is this? Right. That.
Sure. Because if you've ever been around teenagers, they spend a lot of time
doing stupid things,
yelling TikTok quotes and talking over each other.
And
that is what the turtles do.
Yeah, that's what they do. It's great.
It's great. The animation is, of course, really, really good. I know I said something about the designs when the first trailer came out. It really worked for me in this, like the end product. I thought the whole style of the city and the way all the characters are modeled and how the mutants look and how everything moves, I thought was really
it has a very cohesive and well-defined art style.
Yeah,
which I really
like the whole everything blends together really well.
It creates a very immersive world.
Yes,
like from the first scene, you're sucked in.
Yeah, like the environments and the characters and the character
like
designs.
From the first scene where that like light bulb is blinking and there's like scribble lines coming out of it, like immediately I was sucked in.
And it's not quite exactly the same as Spider-Verse, which I think helps it stand out.
I think it's more exaggerated even.
It's a little bit, a little more exaggerated, and I think a little bit less like comic booky.
I would describe this one as like it looks like it's falling apart.
Yes.
Everything looks like it's like falling apart.
It looks like a teenager drew it. Yeah. Like a little bit, which I think might have been what they were going for.
Yeah, it looks really good.
It looks less like a comic book and more like doodles.
Yeah.
Where like it's a little bit rougher, a little bit messier.
It's scrappier.
Yeah. Which fits the style of the turtles really, really well. I thought leaning into the mutant stuff was also a really good idea. Especially since every other Ninja Turtles thing, they always do like Shredder out of the gate, which means it's mostly like ninja swords and karate, which works for the turtles. But I thought doing the mutants and all the different types of mutants and how they're all really weird and unique.
Yeah,
that works really well with animation. Mm-hmm. So I think that was a really, really good choice. And then of course, because they do that, they can get a really good voice cast. Like Paul Rudd as Mondo Gecko.
That was great.
Is great. They got John Cena and Seth Rogen as Bebop and Rocksteady.
Yeah.
They have Ice Cube as the main villain, Superfly.
There was not a single...
Giancarlo Esposito is Baxter Stockman.
They could not have cast these characters any better. They were all perfect for what they were doing.
And they knew that the turtles should be kids.
Yeah.
Like they knew not to cast the celebrities as the main four.
And I liked how
cast the celebrities as all the supporting
I liked
guys.
how they handled April's like news reporter thing where she works for the school paper.
Another the bear.
Because that makes way more sense than her being 16 and working for an actual news company.
Well, yeah, she's the same age as the turtles in this.
Yeah. Which makes, again, way more sense because in the original one, she's like in her 20s.
I liked her in this.
Like
I thought
12.
she had a good role. I also think she was like she even had like her own arc, which I thought really worked well for her.
I wasn't a huge fan of the puke girl arc.
The puke
was kind of stupid.
They did it too much. They did it too much.
They did it too much, and it was like, okay. The biggest problem I had with her arc is like her whole thing is like she's supposed to be getting over the puke girl thing.
She's getting
and then she like does, but then she like doesn't and pukes anyway. So I was like, okay. I mean, funny, I guess.
I mean, it's a kid's movie.
Yeah, it's supposed to be funny, but I thought it took a little bit of wind out of her sails.
It's a kid's movie. You're gonna get the poop and the fart jokes.
Okay, they could have had a different character puke though.
True. It's whatever. I think the point was that she like.
Yeah, the only reason why I had a little
minor
is
spoiler,
it took the wind out of that moment a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's the classic serious moment. Undercut with a joke.
Especially because they already had where she hurled, but then choked back. So I was like, okay.
If you haven't seen the movie,
because I thought they were gonna have her straight up puke, but then she doesn't. She like holds it back, but then she pukes anyway. So I was like, okay, why did you even bother with that?
That's another the bear cast member that was Ayo Edebiri from the Bear.
And she's really good in that show.
She's really good too. Jackie Chan is in this as racist Splinter,
Racist rat man.
racist Splinter, which I thought was a little funny. I think the message, like,
I think his character makes sense. I think his character makes sense.
it makes sense. Like, it's all fine. I think like it's a little direct, but like also it's a kids movie. You gotta be.
And also in the situation,
and it's really funny the way that they handle it.
It's really funny the way they handle it, for one, and two, in the world that they're in, that makes perfect sense. Because if you saw a rat man walking,
You would be freaked out.
The one plot hole is that they're in New York, and if you saw a rat man walking around in New York,
No one would care.
You wouldn't even notice. But in anywhere else, yeah, you would probably beat up the creepy, scary rat monster, man.
Yeah. I thought there's not a lot of action. I wouldn't say until the third act. It's not, if you like the karate part of the Turtles,
That's
where they're using
yeah.
where they're using their weapons and they're punching the Foot Clan and they're doing stealth.
They're doing that in the next one. That's what they're
like you're
setting up
getting.
for.
It's not as much of that. It's a lot of the superhero-esque part of, like, the Ninja Turtles as like a franchise is very versatile.
Yeah.
And that it can be a lot of different things. Like, if they can lean into the ninja part, they can lean into the
have it be
teenage.
Batman, you can have it be a superhero.
This definitely leans into the mutant stuff, where it's a lot of like large scale superhero-esque action stuff. So if I guess if you want to see more of that,
Yeah, I mean, like
You're not gonna
Godzilla
get it, but
attacks
again-
New York at the end.
yeah, you're gonna get the more outlandish, cartoonish. You're getting the mutant mayhem.
It's
in the
not.
title.
It's not the first one. It's not like ninjas beating up other ninjas.
Which again, if they're gonna do a cartoon, if they're gonna reboot it, I think going in a separate direction is a really good idea.
And I think they are going to be doing that more in the next one. They did, like I said at the end, they do tease Shredder.
Which is a spoiler, but
Well, that's not really a spoiler.
every Ninja Turtles movie, if Shredder's
oh
not
my
in
gosh,
the movie, they're
there's
gonna
only-
tease Shredder.
There's
in it.
only 2 Ninja Turtles villains.
There's 3.
There's 3 now. There were 2.
There is Shredder. There's Kang.
Kang? Yeah,
Not Kang, Krang, sorry.
The brain blob.
Krang, and there is Bebop and Rocksteady.
Okay, but Bebop and Rocksteady are just like usually working for one of the other two.
Yeah. I mean,
They're not really villains on their own.
Mr. Beast is in this. Did you notice that?
I did not notice that.
He's
Is he
in-
playing Mr. Beast or is he one of the mutants?
He has like one line.
Who
You
was
know, so you know the scene where it's a flashback and Splinter crawls out of the sewer and everyone's freaking out.
he? Oh, uh-huh.
He's the guy who like points at him and goes, "That's a rat man."
Oh, okay.
That
yeah,
was
I
Mr.
did not
Beast.
notice that at all.
I know it was just a thing.
Oh, yeah, because people were calling him a scab.
because he's scabbed because he was promoting it on Instagram.
Well, no, because he's an influencer, and the guidelines for the thing said if you're an influencer and you already have a contractual
Because
obligation.
he can't be in. Oh,
do
that's
it.
true. Well, he wasn't supposed to promote it though.
No, you are if you're
yeah,
an
'cause he
influencer and you
signed
have a
that
deal. Yeah, he was
contract.
contractually
That's
obligated to.
true.
So he was exempt. People were calling him a scab, but that's because they don't know what they're talking about.
Defend Mr. Beast. He really needs our support.
Hey, when if a man's doing the right thing, you gotta let him know.
Yeah, no, I don't have a lot of thoughts on this, but I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a lot of fun. I thought it was a good kids movie. I think it's really quick and witty and
The humor's really good.
So I think if you're an adult and you're taking your kids to this, I think you're especially gonna like it.
There's a lot to appreciate on all fronts.
Yeah, I think the score is really good. It's Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross. I don't know how they got them to do this, but
Yeah,
they did it. The score is really, really good. There's flashbacks to the baby turtles, and they're real cute.
Superfly is awesome.
Superfly is real fun. And I love how
Superfly steals the show.
I love how he's just all about genocide.
He's just a
straight
big
genocide.
genocidal fly man.
Love that.
And even when everyone else is like, maybe not, he's still like, nah, we got to do genocide.
Yeah,
it's gonna
all
be
the-
sweet.
All the supporting characters are in this are really fun, and they're all really unique. I think they did a good job of like
I
separating
do
them all.
think they may have shot themselves in the foot a little bit going forward. They have a lot of characters to balance.
Yes, and they all are sticking around, or they
Yeah.
said they're all going to stick around. So they already announced they're doing a sequel, and they're going to do a cartoon show. So we'll see how they balance that.
That's
Especially
a lot
since,
to balance.
again, this is spoilers, but it's yeah.
it's
but, like,
Ninja Turtles.
They all, like, the rest of the mutants that aren't Superfly all kind of like join the turtles and come live in the sewer with them at the end. So including like Bebop and Rocksteady, so they can't do any of those guys as villains now.
Yeah.
They're all going to be
So number
sidekicks.
one, they took a lot of their villains off the
Yeah,
playmat
all the
really
mutant villains
early.
in this are all not.
And 2, they now have a lot of like hero characters to balance
Which,
going forward.
I guess if they're gonna do the cartoon show,
That's probably what that's going
that
to be.
allows for more variety because you can.
Yeah.
There's different pairings of characters you can do,
And you can always do
you can split it off from it always just being the turtles. You can like mix
and
up combos.
you could always have it. It also makes it very easy to write for situational like comedy and stuff because you can always have one of the other mutants have
there's
a
a wacky
problem
character.
that the turtles have to deal with, and that's very easy to kind of do over and over again.
Free episode ideas.
Exactly.
Yeah, I thought this was great though. I definitely recommend it. Especially if you're high off Barbie and you're looking for another fun time at the movies. I think this is definitely worth it. It's definitely better than the Meg. I haven't seen the Meg. I can guarantee you, because the Meg did better this past weekend. I can guarantee you.
Well, did the Meg come out in China?
Yes.
Well, no,
even domestically. I mean, I had a bigger opening weekend, but Ninja Turtles also opened on a Tuesday.
I think Turtles is going to hold better.
Probably, because Turtles is good.
Because Turtles is good and the Meg is awful.
Yeah, no, definitely recommend. I'm looking forward to the next one.
Yeah.
That's Seth Rogen.
It got me sucked into the universe. And I'm not really a big Turtles fan.
No, me neither.
We've seen...
I'm vaguely of...
Yeah, we have engaged with the Ninja Turtles passively sort of over the years. Yeah. Like, we see the toys.
I have no problem with the Turtles.
We've picked up a couple episodes of the different shows every now and then, but we've never been, like, super invested.
No, I know people who are, though. I know big Ninja Turtles fans.
But, no, this was a real solid movie. I liked it a lot.
Yes, I'm looking forward to the next one. And that's Seth Rogen, man.
He got it down. He's got it down. He sure can produce
Between
stuff.
this and Invincible and The Boys.
Sure knows how
He's got a good track record.
Producing of things. All right.
I wonder if some of it's just because, like, he's high all the time. I wonder if that, like, helps.
That probably. I mean, it definitely helped with this one for sure.
Yeah.
All right. We have. Do you want to talk about those things? We should probably try to wrap things up here.
Just real quick. I saw another movie. It's called Talk to Me. It's a horror film from A24. It's Australian.
Oh, well, then that's probably good then.
It is not an AMPTP studio, so the cast can actually promote this one, and you're not supporting any of the massive corporations.
Great.
It was really, really good. One of the first horror movies in a while where I've actually had to look away.
Ooh, spooky.
During the movie because it was so.
Was it scary?
Gross. There's a thing with an eye, and I can't do eye stuff. Had to look away.
You know what? Baldur's Gate also has a thing with an eye, like right off the bat.
I can't be doing eye stuff. That's
no for me. You know the Mind Flare, not from Game of Thrones, but like D&D one.
The hand.
Well, no, the Mind Flare is like an octopus head guy.
Yeah.
He takes a little tadpole of one and like sticks it in your eye, and it crawls up into his skull, and it's stuck in there. Yeah, and that's the main quest.
Talk to Me, really brutal, really, really well done. The cast is great, especially the lead girl is really, really, really good.
Would you say it's better than
really well directed?
Would you say it's better than Smile?
Yes, much better than Smile.
I think that's the last horror movie we saw.
Yeah. It does the like spooky artifact from unknown origin thing way better than Smile does. Or Smile
artifact,
not artifact, but like the curse or whatever, where they take forever explaining it. Like
and
this one, they know not to do that. Like you get little hints of stuff about it, but they know like the focus is on like the characters and stuff,
like it's supposed to be.
No, Talk to Me is really good. And then I watched a show on Amazon Prime Video.
Jury Duty.
It's on Freevee.
Oh, good.
So
Freevee.
You can watch it for free even if you don't have Prime. It just has ads. And I know that's going to turn you off like immediately. This is a Freevee original.
Freevee show. Is it new or is it old?
It came out back in April. And I only heard of it because it was nominated for an Emmy. The famous person in it is James Marsden's in it. He has a main role. And he was the one nominated for an Emmy. He's really good in it. But the premise of the show is that it's a mockumentary sitcom about people on jury
duty.
But the gimmick is that everyone on the show is an improvisational actor.
Oh, that sounds kind of fun.
Except for one guy who thinks it's a real documentary and doesn't know any of the other people are acting.
So it's like a prank show.
It's like a prank show, but there's no like. There's no like, hey, it's a prank. So
it's like
it goes on for 8 episodes.
It's a really elaborate prank on one guy.
But what was kind of like the unsuspecting part of the show is that like he's dealing with all these like wacky characters.
But he's like a normal person.
He's like a saint. He's like a really, really, really nice dude. So they keep doing like more and more weird and annoying stuff to him, but he's just really nice.
That sounds good.
It's not laugh out loud funny. It's more like it's more interesting than it is like hilarious.
It's like a social experiment.
It's more of a social experiment. But James Marsden is really, really good in it. He plays essentially like a cartoon version of himself, where he's like an egotistical maniac.
That sounds funny. I'm probably gonna watch that.
Yeah, it's only 8 episodes and they're all like a half hour. I do think it's worth your time. It's a fun watch. I got through it in like 2 days. It was real quick.
Yeah. All right. Well, I had one thing to recommend. I started playing Baldur's Gate 3. It's real fun if you like D&D or if you want to get into D&D. It is literally just a video game version of D&D. All the like combat rules are the D&D rules. All the spells are pretty much the same. the like character interactions are hilarious. Like the game has really funny writing. Like there was at one point I was like
Is
walking.
it Paper Mario good?
I haven't played Paper Mario, but like at one point I was walking around in like a village, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then sometimes as you're walking by, you will do like checks, like as you would in the real game. But
Yeah,
like,
as in D&D.
so it'll just roll a thing and you'll either pass or fail, and you don't really have any control over that. But that's just how it goes. But anyway, I walked by this cow, and it like there was a bunch of them in this little pen, and I passed it, and it was like you detect that something is strange about this ox, and you talk to it, and it just goes moo. it's obviously a guy who's like shapeshift into a cow and is pretending to be a cow for some reason, and he won't tell you why. If you keep trying to talk to him, he'll just go moo. And then I haven't figured out whatever this quest goes yet, but every time I walk by this character, above his head is the name. It just says strange ox, and anytime I try to talk to you, it just goes moo. Which I mean, there's just a lot of little things like that are really funny.
So,
but I recommend it. Check it out if you're into D&D.
Hey, we covered all three. That's a movie. That's a show.
And a game.
That's a game.
All right, and with that, I think it's time to wrap
it
things
up.
up.
We will be back next week for something. It won't be Gran Turismo.
And it won't be the Meg.
It won't be the Meg. Sam refuses to see the Meg.
I don't want to see the Meg. That's money I don't want to spend.
I don't really either. We'll be back next week for something.
Alrighty.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.